YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to actually start branded organic dropshipping in 2026. This is not a joke here. This is going to be a full course. I don't know how long this is going to be. You guys loved the first course that I dropped not too long ago, and now I'm here to bring you another one. But this is going to be particularly on branded organic dropshipping. But before I get into it, I want to just introduce myself. If you guys don't know me, my name is Kevin Martins. I'm 23 years old. I live here in Miami. This is my crib right here. It's pretty freaking cool. And not too long ago, I actually started organic dropshipping about a year and a half ago. And it wasn't always all sunshine and rainbows. I wasn't always living here. Before this, I was actually doing DoorDash, bro, and Uber Eats. This is my literal profile right here. You could tell how stressed out I was. I had acne all over my face. And I wasn't the happiest, right? I was also really sick at the time. And I was in a pretty bad spot. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But in literally a year and a half, like I mentioned before, I've been able to transform my life. I copped my dream apartment here in Miami, Florida, as you guys can see. This isn't fucking CGI. I was also able to start a real brand, right? That goes beyond the typical pump and dump dropshipping model of just finding, Chinese products, running them up 1 week and then completely dumping the next, where you have literally no sort of longevity. Where now I have custom products with my brand on it, where I'm literally getting hundreds of orders weekly. This was me the other day at my warehouse. You guys can see the orders here. And, now I'm able to hit consistent 5K days. This was the other day too, 8.5K day. And this is just the power of actually being able to start a real brand that goes, like I said, beyond the typical pump and dump model. So yeah, I mean, in this whole entire course, I'm literally going to be dropping all the sauce. I'm not going to be gatekeeping anything. This is literally going to be a entire framework and blueprint on how I was able to do this and essentially get back on track, get healthy, and now I'm living my best life. This is my family, by the way. This is on a trip that we took to Las Vegas not too long ago, and I can truly say I've never been happier in my life. I feel fulfilled, and I'm taking care of my family at the same time. So the main modules that we'll be covering today there's going to be 4 of them. All right, guys, there's going to be 4 different modules, and you need each individual module to actually make this work. So you have to watch the whole course. I'm not even going to lie to you. If you guys are missing one of these modules in the whole ecosystem and system that it actually takes, right, to make this work, it's not going to work. This is literally going to be your North Star on how to actually start organic dropshipping, but most importantly, branded organic, right? So we're going to talk about why going branded is much better than normal organic, right? We're going to talk about how to actually find these long-term type of products that are going to make you money consistently and for the next couple of months. We're also going to be running through how to actually make a branded account, as well as almost a community, right? An ecosystem inside of our of these platforms, essentially, to redirect all this traffic to our website and keep the customers coming every single month. That is the number one thing that I will confidently say about starting a brand. You get reoccurring customers. And if there's one thing that I learned about business, bro, is that keeping one customer is a lot easier than getting another one, right? Having to constantly find new people, new sessions to go to your store. And again, it's the worst thing in the world, especially when we do organic and we don't have the luxury of, paying for advertisement, right? And lastly, we're going to go through the website creation process and the backend systems that we're going to need to set up, right, to make this whole entire thing work. Think of this as an engine, right? Each individual module is essentially a component to the engine that we're going to need to take us to our destination. This is going to be our North Star to take us to that brandability when it comes to organic dropshipping and truly scaling, right? And another thing I want to show you guys, this is one of my stores right here. I'm literally logged into it right now. I've done over $200,000 with one product, right? Because I literally went branded, and this started as an original, like normal organic dropshipping product. And as I scaled on, I eventually started going fully branded, right? So custom variations, right? Custom packaging, custom tags, everything. And now I've scaled just one store, one product to over $200,000. And this is just one of my stores, right? I'm running 4 different stores at the moment that all consistently make me anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 at 70% profit margins. And it's insane. And it's only possible with starting a brand, but most importantly, doing organic, bro. We don't have to pay money towards advertising, and we're able to keep anywhere from 50 to 70%. I was able to climb up to 70% because now I have stock, right? Like you guys see, I have a fucking warehouse, and this is where I store all my products. And now I'm also doing TikTok shop, right? So again, Watch the whole video, watch all the modules, and I will literally teach you how to do this. Again, this literally took me over a month to make, guys. So one little thing I'm asking from you guys before we start, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment. Give me some feedback on this whole entire course. Let me know if you loved it, you hated it, what you want me to add next to the channel, because I will be actually looking through each individual comment. And I mean, yeah, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the first module. All right, guys, so the first module here, why go branded versus normal organic? In this module, I'm going to be explaining why branded organic is the only sustainable path if you want consistent income with organic dropshipping, less stress and more predictability when it comes to your business, and how to actually create a real business and not just a pump and dump type of business model where you're essentially trying to find the next product to feed you next month and you're not even guaranteed consistency. That is by far the worst feeling when it comes to this business model, is having a winner that makes you money 1 month. Let's say you're coming off a 10K month profit, and then the next month it completely dumps and you're back at zero. That is the worst thing possible. And so in this whole entire module, I'm going to be explaining why going branded is literally the only solution to this. So like I mentioned, the biggest problems in organic right now is this, right? Every organic dropshipper eventually runs into the same two issues. We have no longevity and no barrier to entry. Organic, by far, guys, is one of the easiest business models to start, and that also makes it one of the easiest to copy. I can confidently say that all it takes for somebody to start organic is to order a product sample and a phone to replicate exactly what you're doing and almost steal your product. So if you don't solve these two main core problems that you will face, you'll stay in a constant loop of restarting. And so people are literally going to be stealing your product, stealing your concepts, everything. And it's just a matter of time before you pop up on their burner, bro. And this is just a constant hamster wheel that absolutely sucks. And it's by far the most annoying thing that's keeping you from making consistent money with organic and also scaling, bro. Because by the time you find an untapped product, an untapped marketing angle, there's going to be 5-6 people that are going to see that product eventually on their burner and order it next day. Or most importantly, bro, they're going to just rip your content, repost it, and get more views than you eventually if they have a Prime Facebook and Instagram. Like, that is the most annoying thing, is like when you're putting so much work into something and somebody could just go ahead and steal it and run it up, right? More than you most of the time. And so if you don't solve these two issues, you're going to stay stuck, right? The other thing too, going back to being a pump and dump dropshipper, is the pump and dump cycle. Traditional organic usually looks like this. You find a product, it pops off, you gain some traction, you go viral, you make some money with it, then it dies, and then you're back to the burner and you repeat. That is the life cycle. I completely just botched that, of the typical organic dropshipper. You find a product, you go viral, you get some sales, then it dies down, or someone steals your product, you got 20 competitors, then you're back on the burner and you repeat. This creates constant ups and downs and no stability in your business. Burnout and discouragement is literally all you fucking feel, bro. It's like you're so discouraged, and even like bringing a new product to the market because you're almost like guaranteed, to get it stolen by somebody. So you're always chasing the next product, and it's literally this hamster wheel. And going back to the hamster wheel analogy, this is what most people don't realize, that normal organic is literally just a hamster wheel. You work nonstop but never actually move forward, right? You find the product, you gain some traction, it pops off, it dies, or you get it literally ripped 1-for-1 by 20 other people that found it on their burner, and then you're back on the burner yourself. Like, this literally does not work anymore. And anyone that's telling you this has no idea what they're doing, and are definitely not making money consistently with organic. So competition kills fast. Another major issue, like I mentioned, is competition, these burners, right? Because the burner method exists. Because of this product research method, your product will always be seen. It gets shared on Discords. There's 1 million Discords now with thousands of people that could literally just drop your product in there, and all of a sudden, hundreds of people rip it overnight. Even if you found it first, you don't even own it. So you could come into the market with a good idea, a good untapped product that no one's ever seen before, and then boom, it gets posted in a Discord or a community, whatever it may be, and then you got 4 people ripping it overnight, right? That's why we got 6ix9ine here, like literally stealing your shit, bro, right? And so this is something that, again, is super frustrating, and it's the reason why most people quit, right? And I know for a fact, if you do organic or looking into getting into it, this is going to happen. 100%. And I live this too, bro. I am living proof of this happening. So many people have ripped my products. And like I said, this isn't theory. This actually happens. Products are getting ripped every day. There's no longevity in the organic dropshipping model at the moment if you're doing it traditionally. And it's a constant reset every single month. And this is one of the biggest problems in organic. And it's why most people never break past inconsistency. I see a lot of people in the space that make $10,000, maybe $50,000 in 1 month, usually around Q4. But then come Q1, they're back at zero because they don't have the systems in place. And they're also not starting real brands with longevity, with the right product under the right niche. And they're falling into this hamster wheel, bro. Okay. And I'm telling you, I live this too, bro. Every single waking moment of my organic journey, the first year was this, bro. And it was super frustrating. But what if I told you it didn't have to be like this, right? What if you could stop chasing new products every single week or month, stop worrying about copycats, and build something real, something long-term that's gonna be bigger than you? What if organic could be predictable every single month, bro? Where you're consistently making anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 profit a month without having to chase that new product, without having to worry about someone stealing your product, putting it on a Discord, test ordering you, and you're cooked. What if it didn't have to be this way? Enter branded organic, right? Branded organic combines dropshipping's flexibility, right? We're still not having to put any money up front for inventory. We're still doing the dropshipping model where we're having Chinese suppliers fulfill for us. We just have to get the storefront up and running and actually go viral to then lead all that traffic to our website and start getting sales. We're also going to be able to get the advantages of organic, right? The insane profit margins, like I mentioned before, the 50 to 70% margins that we're able to get, as opposed to normal traditional dropshipping where you're having to pay ads, for your videos to be seen, and we're only able to keep anywhere from 15 to 20%. You know what I'm saying? And now we are getting real brand protection because now you're not only selling a product, you're building a real identity. Like I said, this is me when I launched my TikTok shop, right? With TikTok shop, unfortunately, you do need stock up front. So you do need a little bit of capital to invest in the stock, but everything is branded. The tags are branded. The bags are branded. Even my products are all branded with my name on it. So now that is the type of protection that you get because when anyone tries to steal your product, they're gonna see the name of the brand and they're gonna be hating. They're gonna be like, bro, what are you doing copying this person? And they're just gonna take you down. And this is exactly why I've been able to make almost $1 million, bro, with organic dropshipping because no one can freaking copy me, bro. No one can copy me. No one can copy my content. No one can copy my branding, not even the product, bro, because I'm custom making these with my manufacturers. And this is the beauty of all of it. So what changes when you go branded? When you go branded, you create actual barrier to entry, right? Like real barrier to entry. You have control. You own the demand. People can copy products, but they can't copy brands. So a perfect example of this is Stanley. Why do you think Stanley can literally mark up the price 2x, right? For the same exact bottle, right? This is literally a Amazon listing. We see somebody with literally the same flask, guys, but just a different brand for $15. But then comes Stanley, they're able to sell it for more than double just because it has the branding, right? 5K pot in the last month compared to only 200 for half the price, right? And this really comes down to branding. Another really good example here is Coca-Cola. This is what I mean by barrier to entry. Barrier to entry essentially means factors which make it difficult for new people, new competitors to enter an industry. So for example, for Coca-Cola, there is a lot of loyalty behind the brand. Once you're a Coca-Cola lover, you're going to drink Coca-Cola for probably the rest of your life. And there is a big attachment to the name. Another thing too is being the first to do it. Coca-Cola, they were one of the first to fucking create this shit, this formulation, right, with soda. You're going to be able to position yourself from an entirely different angle because you pioneered it, where now you essentially dominate the market because you were first to it. Another thing that I hear no one talking about is vertical integration. So if you have no access to Coca-Cola suppliers, you cannot sell their product. And these guys have deals with manufacturers, factories. I mean, they actually own their own factories now because, I mean, they're like a multi-billion-dollar company. But what I'm trying to say is that if you have a real relationship with your manufacturers and you almost sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, a real contract, no one can just go and steal your manufacturers. And so that is huge barrier to entry, which actually helped me, because when a lot of people tried copying my products, I actually have a contract with my manufacturers that anyone that actually tries to go to them to essentially manufacture something very similar to my product, they're going to say no, because I'm actually making them a lot of money as well. And lastly, patenting, right? A legal barrier to copying a product. Coca-Cola is super patent. No one can go ahead and steal their formulation. And that's why they are top of the top, right? Like that is literally barrier to entry. And so these are just a couple of examples when it comes to barrier to entry, but most importantly, branding, guys, right? Next, longevity equals freedom, right? So with a real product, your product isn't just going to die overnight, right? Content compounds, customers come back. And this is how you can make consistent money, remove stress, and build momentum instead of restarting. So a perfect example here is Monster, specifically the white Monster. When it comes to, I mean, just like energy drinks in general, right? Like customers are going to come back because it's a consumable. So once they finish the can, they're going to most likely go buy more. That's why supplements do really good in the e-com industry. But it's not going to die overnight. Monster's been around for years now. They built a massive brand, and it's almost like a staple of energy drinks. So not only that, but it just compounds year after year after year after year. Like Monster just keeps growing. And I mean, a lot of different energy drinks just quite often keep on growing, because now you're able to make consistent money because it's literally a consumable. So you're going to be almost guaranteed money every single month. It removes stress because you're actually able to build momentum and actually work on the business rather than in it. Monster is just compounding, where they're coming out with new flavors, new collabs, and it's a flywheel of success. And that's how you bring longevity, but also the peace of mind that you have a little bit of freedom in your life, because you're not worrying about somebody coming into the market and touching your brand, because you're Monster. No one can really compete with Monster at this moment because they're one of the first to ever do it, but also they have one of the biggest brands out there. And so with that, guys, you're able to build real equity and real exit potential. This is your typical pump and dump dropshipper, and this is going to be your brand owner. If you're a pump and dump dropshipper, I'm sorry, but you're a level 1 crook, because branded organic gives you real business equity. You actually have like equity in your business. You're not just like building something that doesn't have a foundation to then sell in the long run. We can't even go for an exit if you run pump and dump products, especially trademark products. Like you can't really exit that. And it also gives you sellable brands, right? Like I mentioned, and a huge exit opportunity. So this isn't just cash flow, this is ownership. So with my brands, I can exit them at any time for at least 1x. And that's because I have a real brand, but most importantly, I have real equity. I'm not banking off random pump and dump fidget spinners that are all trademarked, that are even dupes. I see people like selling dupes on like TikTok shop and stuff like that. Like there's no equity in selling fake products, because any sort of business person that maybe would potentially want to buy your website or even your brand isn't going to invest in a pump and dump. People want to invest in real things, a real brand that's continuously growing. Why do you think, again, Monster has one of the biggest investors in the world? Same thing with Coca-Cola. Same thing with Stanley, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's a growing brand. It's real and it has the right foundation. People are building the wrong foundations when it comes to dropshipping, right? They're running Kalo data rips. They're running pump and dumps, trademark products, ripping, like just there is no real foundation in that. And if you're trying to build a real skyscraper of a business, you need to have the foundation right on point, bro. Like it has to be on point. This actually works. Like this is the proof, guys. Like I am living proof that this works. I've scaled multiple branded stores to multi 6 figures, almost 7, right? Without any paid ads and keeping anywhere from 50 to 70% profit margin. And again, I'm not chasing, I'm not panicking. There's no resets every single month. So this is why I've been able to have this sort of longevity and consistency with ecom, guys, where I'm not having to worry about all this crazy stuff that I used to worry about before, because no one can compete with me. Right? And again, this is the proof that you need. This isn't theory, that I'm not just making some shit up. This is what actually works, right? Everyone that I've met that is successful with organic dropshipping, even ecom, some of the biggest guys I've met in my life, they all have real brands. They're not running pump and dumps. They're not running some bullshit type of products that have no longevity. They're running real brands. And so the reason why branding, right, and why brands actually print long-term is because when you build a reputable brand, trust increases, conversions increase, content is more efficient. You're no longer fighting for the crumbs. You own the whole pie. right? And this is why I've been able to hit these crazy days, but most importantly, have these sorts of conversion rates. 1.8% organically is literally unheard of, right? Usually for an organic dropshipper, you're running anywhere from like 0.8 to maybe 1% if you're lucky. But this is the reason why I've been able to increase my conversion rate, but most importantly, not fight for the crumbs. And let me explain. So if we have a pie, right? Let's say this is a perfect circle. You're going to have the majority of the market share. Let's say this is the market share right here. And so if you're first to a product, you're going to have the majority of the market share, right? You're going to get rewarded for bringing something new to the platform. But then that pie splits in half when somebody finds you on the burner or your product got sent to the Discord, right? And then it gets split in 4 ways because somebody else tells somebody else that this is a winning product. Now you got 4 competitors. And that's only in one day. All of a sudden, next day, boom, you split that again. And the pie becomes worse and worse and worse to where you're only able to get one slice of the pie while everyone also eats as well. But when it comes to having a brand, you get the whole pie to yourself because anyone that wants to go into this bubble, right, your pie, they can't do it because you have a real brand. And this is going to be the main issue, guys, that I've been trying to tell you guys since the beginning of this channel. Like, this is the main constraint of every organic dropshipper is competition, because there's really no barrier to entry for anyone to start your product. And most importantly, test it, right? Like, it's so easy to order your product off Amazon. You get it the same day and boom, competition, right, arises. And so hopefully you guys get that analogy, but it is so much more effective and your content actually makes sense. You're actually posting content that compounds over time because you're really building something real. You're building something. So every month that you keep building, it keeps compounding. More people know about your brand. You're retargeting, you're making more money. Bro, it just makes sense long-term because then you're just working for nothing. You're working for the crumbs. There's no sustainability, but most importantly, there's no foundation at all. Now, the ceiling is gone. With the right product, the right niche, and the right brand positioning, there is no ceiling. Like, you can make as much money as you want. You are no longer asking, will this product die, right? You're going to be asking, how big can this brand get? And so literally, this was me in the beginning, bro. Like, the amount of progress that I've been able to make in less than 2 years, bro, a year and a half, it's like so unexpected because I did not expect to get here so quick because I truly feel like I speed ran the whole process where I'm like, bro, how did I actually get here in such a short amount of time? But it's because of that compounding effect, and you're just exponentially growing every single month, every single day, where you'll eventually end up to the top of the mountain. And this is why I truly believe I've been able to make so much progress in such little time, is because I started something real. And so, guys, in this course, right? I don't know how long this will be, right? This course is designed to show you how to stop chasing random products and start building real brands. How to pick products that make sense long-term, not just for a quick pump and dump. How to run branded content, concepts, and accounts that separate you from everybody else in the marketplace. And how to set up your site offers so scalability actually makes sense in your business. And so, like I mentioned before, guys, you're going to need every single module, every single component to make this work. And almost a good analogy is like the Infinity Stones. Every single module in this is an Infinity Stone. But once you learn them all, you're going to win, bro. You're going to win. And I can prove to you guys that this actually works, not from myself, but for also a lot of people inside of Full Stack Ecom, guys, which is my one-on-one mentorship. Guys, I've been able to transform lives, like so many lives. Last year, we generated over 7 figures in revenue from all the students inside of Full Stack Ecom, bro. Bro, this is my boy, Mark. You guys can go ahead and watch the case studies. These are all case studies on my channel. Mark went from doing 10K in 1 month to doing over 124K, right, in just 2 months. He was doing back-to-back 60K months during Q4, right? And bro literally just copped like a penthouse in Canada, bro. Like, he sent me this video the other day. I'm going to put it in a Google Drive here for you guys to see. Like, bro literally just moved.
I got my new place, bro. I just bought a whole apartment.
In Vancouver. He's 19 years old, bro.
How the hell am I here right now, bro?
Penthouse.
Highest floor.
Like,
this shit is actually crazy,
this is
bro.
insane,
I can't believe,
bro. Absolutely insane. Right? All from organic dropshipping, from Full Stack Ecom. Another thing too, I want to show you guys. Javier, he did over 20K in 5 days. Harper, he went from doing 33K in 30 days to over $100,000 in 1 month. In Q1, January, he was doing 21K days in Q1. Literally last month, it's the 5th of February. And bro was able to do 40K in 4 days from his brand, right? So like you guys can see the transformations. This actually works, bro. And again, these are all real case studies like on my channel. You can just go ahead and watch them. This is also Mark, 18 years old, doing 33K a month with his brand organic stores. Also bought his dream crib. He's 18, moved in with his girlfriend to like a loft, and he's having the time of his life. Same thing with Pedro, 17 years old, in high school, bro. Senior in high school, doing 25K in 1 month, bro. So like I said, these are the type of results that I'm providing for myself and my students inside of Full Stack Ecom, which is my one-on-one mentorship, one-on-one coaching. This isn't some massive Discord. It's a real inner circle. And if you guys do want to join, you guys can go ahead and take a look at the first link in the description and apply to see if you're a right fit. So yeah, guys, that's going to be module 1 for the course. You know, why going branded is going to be a lot better than normal organic. We went through absolutely everything, all the main constraints that we go through as organic dropshippers, and why going branding is the best choice thus far. Alrighty, guys, welcome to module 2. In this module, we're going to be talking about how to find long-term and brandable products. So in this module, we're going to be covering, exactly how to go about finding the long-term and brandable products. And more importantly, how to actually recognize what a real brandable product actually looks like. Before we go and find anything, we have to look at what are we going to be looking for, right? Like, how does this criteria even look like? What type of products are we looking for? And what are we not trying to look for, right? So in this whole entire module, we're going to be learning the strict criteria I personally use to qualify products, how to separate short-term from long-term products, and where I look specifically to find these types of products. Again, I'm going to be going through my whole entire blueprint. I can't believe I'm leaking this, bro, but you guys deserve it. So if you made it this far, you are going to be learning absolutely everything when it comes to the product research method on, how to find these type of products. So before we get into it, we have to first be able to identify what a brandable product even looks like. Like I said to you before we start looking for anything, we have to know what we're looking for. So we're going to do a little bit of a test here for you guys, and just join with me. Okay. So let's train your eye. The first one we're going to be asking here, the first question is, which product here is more brandable, right? Is it going to be a Christian watch or a Donald Trump toilet scrubber? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to answer. 3, 2, 1. You're right. This one is definitely not going to be the brandable product. Why? This is literally a pump and dump. This is a gimmick, low perceived value, and it's very controversial. Not saying controversy is bad, but who's actually going to buy this? Probably nobody, right? This is going to be a lot more brandable, more long-term. It's jewelry, high perceived value under a very passionate niche, which is why we're going to pick this one, okay? That should have been a no-brainer, but if it wasn't, we're going to do another test here. Next one, we have Breaking Bad Legos or this Porsche GT3 RS frame. Which one here is more brandable? 3, 2, 1. You're right. It's going to be this one, right? The reason why we're able to brand this is because, well, it's cars. The car niche is absolutely massive, and literally every male in existence probably is into cars, and females now, bro. So the brandability aspect of this is huge because, well, quite frankly, this is already a brand, and these guys do phenomenal because they're able to introduce new car, brands. So not only do they do Porsche, but they do like Ferrari, Lamborghini. There's so many different variations. It's actually a very valuable product. Like, bro, look at this. This frame looks dope. I would love to have this in my room. The high perceived value is there under a very passionate niche of people. But unfortunately with this is just a Lego. Like, who's actually going to buy a Lego long term? Like, yes, Legos do good, but this is a knockoff. So people are also starting to notice that if you're trying to dropship Legos, it's most likely going to be a knockoff, and they're going to notice. So this is definitely a no-go for brandability because, again, it has to do with Breaking Bad. There's no longevity. It's a one-dimensional product because it's literally just a van, and again, it's a knockoff Lego. That's the importance of having a brand, right? Once you're a Lego fan, you're always a Lego fan, and if you see anything that isn't Lego, you're going to call it out because, well, it's probably going to be bad quality. Next, 1 or 2. Which one here is more brandable? We have an F1 blanket or a POV camera. Which one of these products is more brandable? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Neither. Both are no good. The reason being is because both are copyrighted and trademark products. The reason being, with the blankets, it's F1. You can literally see the copyright. I don't know how bro is running this, but it's just a matter of time before they take your store down. And so there is a lot of complications when it comes to running products like this, especially under the F1 niche or any sort of very heavy copyrighted product, because there's really no longevity. Yes, you can run it up like a quick little pump and dump, but once you start scaling over 6 figures, they're going to eventually get their lawyers on you and take you down. They're going to DMCA you. Another thing too, the reason why I didn't pick this camera as a brandable product, because yes, this is actually a winning product. There's multiple people in the organic space that have made multiple six figures with it, but you can't simply start a brand because this is literally a knockoff Insta360, right? So this is essentially a dupe that you're able to sell for half the price and run organic marketing with it and run it up. But if you're trying to scale and eventually exit, you're not going to be able to because, like I've said, it's a duplicate, it's a dupe, it's a fake, and no investor is going to want to buy a dupe brand. It's like trying to sell Chrome Heart hoodies, Chrome Heart glasses. We see it all the time. These guys make a shit ton of money, but there's no equity. We're also going to be running through this document that I'm going to be providing you guys to almost follow along. So in this document, you're going to be getting my whole entire criteria, right, on how I actually grade products. So if we go into the document right here, this is essentially a rubric, how I score products when I'm looking at my burner or any sort of product research method that I'm doing. I'm essentially grading every single product in here, right? And so we're going to be going through all the criteria right now. If you guys do want this rubric, literally go to the description below. I'll give it for you for free. Just go ahead and make a copy of it and you're good to go. Absolutely free in the description. You got it, right? So let's talk about the first thing that we're going to be looking for and the first thing in the whole entire rubric, right? And it's going to be longevity and variations. So the big question that you have to ask yourself before pulling the trigger on a product and ordering it and really going all in when going branded is, can this product live long-term and eventually expand into multiple SKUs, which essentially means variations, right? Because ideally we're looking for products that have 5+ variations, whether that's different colors, styles, themes, bundle sizes, editions, it doesn't matter. We need the ability to release new drops without changing the core product because a lot of these pump and dump dropshipping products, they're very seasonal, right? And it has to be evergreen for branded to make sense. You have to be able to run it all year round and consistently be able to introduce new variations to keep that longevity going. And this is something that a lot of people have a hard time almost figuring out in the beginning because, there's a lot of one-dimensional products with only one variation. But I want to show you an example. I want to show you an example of this account right here. This is a fully branded account, organic product, and it's called YHWH Timepieces. This guy sells custom Christian watches that kind of look like Rolexes, but not really. And if you guys go ahead and take a look at this guy's Instagram, it's fully branded, over 20,000 followers, insane content, getting consistent viewership. But if we actually go into the website, right, we're able to see that he has multiple SKUs, right? So not only does he have this variation, which I'm assuming is his top seller, but he's always introducing new ones. He has this variation right here with a different kind of design. He also has this gold version, which is pretty cool. He has this other variation that kind of looks like an AP, right? And then lastly, he has this one, which is honestly my favorite. It says, "Who cares? God's never late." And so when you're able to introduce new variations, new drops, that's how you're able to have that sort of longevity. And it's almost like you're able to provide more options for the people that maybe don't like, your main variation. Maybe you're more of a gold guy, so you might go with this one. It's important to have variations, and it's one of the main things that people don't understand when trying to pick a brandable product is that, you need to have a lot of variations to introduce, and which is why he's able to have this sort of longevity with organic and getting thousands and thousands of views because he's simply introducing new variations every single month. He's able to rinse and repeat the proven winning concepts that worked for maybe one variation to all of the other 4 that he has. So let's say he finds a winning concept that goes insanely viral for the traditional variation that he has here, right? Now, what this guy can do is just rinse and repeat the same concept with the other 1, 2, 3, 4 variations and go even more viral, right? And it literally works. You guys can see he's introducing this variation, another variation. Again, we're not going to break down the content just yet because there's going to be a module for this, but you guys get the gist here. It's really important to have a lot of variations to be able to support this kind of longevity that we're looking for. Because again, guys, we're not trying to be around for the next 2 weeks, 2 months. No, we're trying to be here for the next couple of years. Another thing that people really do overlook is going to be the market size and niche demand. And so another question that I want you to ask yourself when you're looking at products is the niche big enough to support scaling? And so 4 criteria here, we're looking for broad enough niches with consistent demand, right? Not too micro or hyper specific. For example, I don't know why I wrote this, bro, but like let's say you were trying to run a furry product, and the furry niche is very small, right? Like there's only a handful of people that are into that weird stuff, where you dress yourself up as like an animal, and there's like these little communities. I don't know, but if you were trying to sell a product under the furry niche, it's too little of a niche to supply you with consistent money, right? There's probably only a handful of people, a couple hundred thousands of people that are into that furry shit, probably less, to be honest. I hope so. Compared to a very massive niche like, I don't know, Christianity. There's billions of people that are Christians. And so with that big niche comes a lot more demand and scalability, right? So a clear audience is important. Like, what type of interests do they have? What type of behaviors do they have? Are they in a certain community, right? So like I mentioned before with Christianity, we're going to go through mirrorless apparel, one of the biggest, organic brands out there that scaled like tremendously. I think these guys hit like an 100K day selling their Christian apparel, right? And the reason they were able to hit that type of day is because, well, Christianity is massive, and they also, built a phenomenal product. This was one of their first products here. They were making custom Christian shoes, and I mean, they built a phenomenal brand. They were doing organic at first, print on demand, and then obviously they scaled up, and now they have like athletes working for them because they're introducing a new line of like cleats. They were doing like football cleats, soccer cleats. They even have like the Birks now. It's insane, right? They're scaling all the way, like crazy. And they built a real brand under, Jesus. So it's great, right? Because the niche actually gave them enough demand, and the niche was big enough to supply them with these 100K days. But if you was running a very small niche like furries or whatever the fuck you could even think of, you're going to be very limited. So the next thing we're going to be looking at here is product market fit. Will people in this niche actually buy this product? Does it make sense to introduce this product to the niche that we're targeting? And so the product, right, needs to solve a desire or has to have some sort of use case. Something else that I like to do is find comparable products that are already selling within the niche and almost make like a different iteration of it, or find a different variation to introduce into the market. And we want to make sure that it feels natural for the niche to purchase. So for example, let's say you were trying to run like a Little Peep product and you were trying to sell a Little Peep fire extinguisher, right? The most random thing. I don't think any Little Peep fan is going to want to buy a fire extinguisher. Like, that product doesn't fit into the market, right? That market is predominantly compiled of Y2K people that are under the age of maybe 25 that love Little Peep. And so they're going to be more enticed in maybe buying some sort of merchandise, some sort of shirt, maybe a bracelet or a necklace that actually has to do with the artist, rather than a random fire extinguisher. Like nobody in the niche is going to want to buy that. So that would be a perfect example of like product market fit, is like, will this product actually fit the market that I'm trying to sell to? And so a good example here is going to be Fun Punch, a multi-7-figure company now at this point. But these guys, believe it or not, started with organic, bro. These guys are essentially selling the Fun Punch, right? Which is this like premium, like portable little punching bag where you could go ahead and stick it anywhere. It's actually pretty freaking cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I almost actually bought one for myself, but these guys started with organic. Like, they were making these types of videos all organically, and they were essentially showcasing their product, right, to relieve stress, improve speed for the people that love boxing. So this is a perfect product that is targeting a very big niche of people that like boxing, MMA, stuff like that. So the market is there, but the product also fit that market perfectly for like boxing and just as a gadget. And so this is a perfect example of, like I mentioned, product market fit. The product perfectly fits the market. And this is the reason why they've been able to scale to multiple 7 figures. They built a massive brand around this. And it's almost crazy to me that these guys started with organic, bro. And you guys could see that they have multiple SKUs, multiple variations. So they have different colors, right? These are considered different variations. They even have different limited drop ones. So they have this Make America Strong Again. So kind of like a Trump version. As you guys can see, it's sold out. Because this shit actually works, bro. When you have such a big brand and you're scaling and you're able to create new variations and almost build a little bit of scarcity, bro, you're going to absolutely crush. And again, they actually tell a story. There's a real brand. These are 2 brothers that have built this from their bedroom, literally. And these guys are awesome. If you guys are watching this, bro, kudos to you guys. But these guys have been doing it all right? And now they're expanding to a kids line for kids now. and they have, this new line for children. So it's insane, right? But really going back to what I was saying, the product fits the market, right? Next, compliance and brand safety. Like I mentioned to you guys before, the reason why we didn't, approve of this F1 product and this one is because of trademark compliances. And, if we're thinking long-term here, you're going to have a big issue. So we're trying to stay away from any sort of copyright or trademarked IP stuff, any sort of electronics, any sort of dupes, like phone dupes, camera dupes, or anything requiring certifications or high risk, right? So it must be an original or generic product. It has to be brand safe and it has to be scalable without legal risks. I've fallen victim to this. One of my brands that I scaled to multiple six figures, that wasn't the one I showed you. I can't sell it because it's actually really trademarked and no investor wants to invest into that. So I have to take the L on that. Yes, I made a lot of money with it, but I didn't really build real equity, right? And a good example here is that POV cam. Action Snap, this guy, he's made multiple six figures with this product, this POV camera, for like horse riders. I mean, he's targeted multiple niches. That's the beauty behind this product is like it's so broad because you can market to people that like horses, people that like sports, different hobbies, different trades. We've seen it all with this product, and it's a really good winning product. I'm not gonna lie to you, but if this guy wanted to exit his store, my Action Snap, unfortunately he can't because this is literally a dupe of the traditional Insta360 camera. Like if I go to my browser here and search up Insta360, you guys can go ahead and take a look for yourselves. Like this is literally just a dupe. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this guy won't be able to sell it, but he probably ran up a bag like I mentioned before. And as a beginner, it's great, but if you want to scale up to real brand potential, this isn't going to be your best bet. So we have to make sure that these aren't copyrighted or any sort of dupes, right? Like again, like try and stay away from like any Chrome Heart dupes or any sort of like Louis V dupes, phone dupes, camera dupes, stuff like that. It's a no-go. And, if you are going to run something like that, just know that it won't be long-term. You won't be able to exit it. Yes, you could scale it, but good luck trying to sell that brand, man. All right. Number 5 here, promise we're almost done, guys. We're running through the criteria, is perceived value and margins. So a question you got to ask yourself, we've been asking ourselves a lot of questions this whole course, but can this product feel premium and still hit anywhere from 50 to 70% profit margins? And so my criteria, right, is the product needs to be high perceived value, relative to the product, right? And so it also has to be able to be branded, packaged, or bundled with other products. And it has to be over $30. I've learned the hard way. I used to sell products that I was marketing for only like $20, and I was only able to profit about $10 per order. And when you do organic and you're trying to make the most out of every single session, only making $10 per order kind of sucks because you can go super viral, but for you to hit like a crazy month or even hit 6 figures in revenue, you would have to make hundreds and almost thousands of orders to get to that, when we could actually find a margin here that is going to be more convenient for us, that has to do with a product that has a higher perceived value. And so this is why I love jewelry, bro. I love jewelry because it's high perceived value, right? It's beautiful for organic because it's the palm of your hands most of the time. You're able to show it off. There's so many niches in the jewelry business, right, that you could target. And when it comes to jewelry, right, we're able to source for super, super cheap, but sell for really high, over minimum $30. I've sold jewelry for $100 and I'm able to profit like $80 per order. So now it makes sense for me to go viral because I'm making the most out of every session. It's higher leverage, right? Higher ROI per session, right? Your AOV is higher, your CTR is higher because quite frankly, you're going to be targeting like a big niche, hopefully, like this guy did. This guy, Athelia, multiple 6-figure earner here with organic. We know this guy. I mean, if you do organic, you know about this guy, but he's been able to create a massive brand with like these Y2K kind of Christian jewelry pieces. And if we go to the account, like I said, he's built a massive fan base. He goes super, super viral. But if we go to the actual website, he's selling these pieces for relatively a decent price, like 20 bucks, 24.99. And you might think to yourself like, oh, Kevin, you just said $30 minimum. Well, yes, but you're able to cross sell a lot of these variations. So most people are probably taking multiple bracelets, multiple necklaces, earrings, and rings. And so his AOV is probably anywhere from $40 to $50. But notice one thing, he's probably sourcing these bad boys for less than like $5. Like no bullshit. That's how cheap you could source jewelry. If I were Athelia, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt, let's put some bundles on, man. Let's give the ability for customers to buy more products and even cross-sell different bundles in the actual bundle maker. So people don't have to, add this one to cart and then go to necklaces and then add another one to cart. You know what I'm saying? Just make it a lot easier for the customer. Again, I'm kind of jumping the gun here on like giving this guy advice, but you guys get the gist here. And to prove to you that this shit is insanely economical and super cheap to source, what I'm going to do, guys, is this right here, right? What you want to do to source products, quick little tip, you take a screenshot, whether it's on your PC, whatever. And then what you want to do is you want to go and search up AliExpress, right? And then what you're going to do is go to the homepage. You're going to go here, reverse image search, right? Can't believe I'm leaking this much sauce. You're going to search this bad boy up right here. And then boom, this guy's literally sourcing for $1, right? I'm telling you guys, jewelry is insanely cheap to source. And so you're getting like a 20, 50x markup most of the time. So yeah, this shit sells like fucking hotcakes, 57,000 sold. It's a phenomenal product, right? So going back to what I was saying, the margins are there for jewelry, but other products as well. We're just talking about jewelry for this particular example, but it has to make sense. We need to profit at least 50, upwards of 70% to make a lot of money for every customer that comes into the website. All right, number 6, content and virality potential. Can this product consistently go viral? We do organic dropshipping. We rely on going viral. So the criteria is this, right? The product needs to be visually appealing. It has to be viral and emotionally engaging. The last one isn't necessary, but more emotion, the better, right? And I'll show you why. It also needs to have enough concepts to be able to provide us with a lot of videos. As organic dropshippers, we're trying to post a minimum of 2, upwards of 7 videos a day. And so if we don't have a lot of concept potential, if the product doesn't leave us room for a lot of videos, then we're going to be struggling a lot. And lastly, it has to have enough marketing angles. So really, we're going to be using this as an example here, right? So this is Legacy Drip. They actually just rebranded to Misfit US, but these guys were selling these rapper inspired shoes. And by default, this is a very wow factor type of product. It's not every day you see these rapper inspired dunks. And it falls under a very emotional but passionate niche as well. Juice WRLD. He was doing these Juice WRLD shoes, and people went crazy for them because people love Juice WRLD. He's also unfortunately dead, but there's a lot of emotion tied to Juice WRLD. And so these guys, they're called Legacy Drip. And so these guys were mostly targeting dead rappers. So Lil Peep, Juice WRLD, X, right? Very, very big rappers at one point in time under huge niches. And these guys still get millions of monthly listeners. And so this is why it's important to look at this criteria and ask yourself, right? Is the product visually appealing? So if we look, yes, it's not every day you see shoes like this. Is it going to go viral? Most likely, because there's definitely a wow factor. The market is massive for it to go viral, right? If the market was very small, it can't go viral. If there's only a couple of hundred people in the niche, it's only going to get 100 couple of views. And is it engaging enough? Yes, because people love to rant about Juice WRLD, their favorite artist. They were also doing very controversial concepts like this, where like he would spin the bottle and then he would be like, yeah, X is better than Juice. But then people would comment like, no, Juice is way better than X. And so that's how you build a lot of engagement. And there's a lot of concept potential, as you guys can see. These guys were going viral left and right. So if we take a look here, right, to their TikTok, because unfortunately they're rebranding their Instagram, so I can't necessarily access it. You guys can see that the concepts were insane. I mean, they were doing so many concepts left and right, saying, are you a true Juice WRLD fan? These are just shoes, whatever. And they had a lot of different concepts, and they were running multiple accounts at once. There's just one account they were running. But you guys can see that if we go to one of the most popular videos, boom, right? Like, it's insane. This video went super viral. I mean, look at the shoe, guys. The wow factor is there. look at the custom, like look how crazy customized this shoebox is. And I don't know why the comments aren't loading, but I'm telling you right now, the demand for these were crazy. And they were also running multiple concepts like run twos, you know, these type of concepts right here. Very controversial concepts. So picking Juice WRLD over Eminem. So people would just copy, no, Eminem is better, right? And now they're branching out to actual clothing. So the product itself gave them a lot of wiggle room for content going consistently viral. And so, yeah, these guys are a beautiful example of like when you have such a good product that is going consistently viral. There's so many concepts you can do with it, so many different marketing angles, and it's so emotionally engaging. You're gonna make a lot of money. These guys were doing drops left and right, doing 100K days. And the reason I know this is because, well, I've personally spoken with them, and inside of Full Stack Ecom, we actually had these guys pull up and give us their exact blueprint on how they were able to scale this to almost 7 figures. Legacy Drip, these are the 2 kids, bro. They're young as shit, bro, like 17, 18-year-olds. And we were in there talking to them, picking their brains on how they were able to scale from 0 to 100K days. And so this is the type of access and exclusivity that you have inside of Full Stack Ecom because, well, genuinely, like I have the best of the best guys in here hopping on calls with us and literally giving us a live breakdown on their businesses, right? This was another call with Carbrace, a multi-6-figure, brand owner here. These guys are huge when it comes to bracelets, right? Around the car niche. And again, we had Nico pull up and give us the full rundown on how he was able to, scale his business. And so, yeah, guys, this is some of the stuff that you guys are going to be getting inside of Full Stack Ecom. We have the best of the best pulling up almost monthly, right? 2 to 3 times a month. We'll have some guest speakers pull up and literally break down their business and almost give us like the framework and step-by-step on how they were able to achieve these crazy results at such scale. And so again, if you guys do want to join Full Stack Ecom, you guys can go ahead and take a look at the description below. It's going to be the first link. You guys can go ahead and apply to see if you're a right fit. But I mean, yeah, this isn't like all fluff. This isn't like theory. Like I know this because I literally talked to these brand owners myself, which is the reason why I added each individual example here, because I know all these guys personally and I know these guys print, right? So that's the reason why I'm telling you guys about these people. All right, guys, number 7 here is going to be value creation. Is it going to be direct or indirect? The question is, does this product provide value? But value can be multiple things, right? It can be functional value, right? Does it actually solve a problem? It could be emotional, right? Does this product provide you with happiness, maybe nostalgia, confidence? Or is it social value? Is it going to give you status, identity, belonging into society? A really good example of this is Labubu, and I'll explain in a little bit, but I want to show you a very functional type of product here. This is going to be Crochet Cure. These guys blew up back in 2025 and 2024. This guy exited his brand for multiple 6 figures. I know that for a fact, but these guys did a phenomenal job on actually solving a very core issue when it comes to crochet people, typically women that do crochet. These guys essentially made this product, or sourced this product, introduced this, I don't even know, solution to crocheting where you can go ahead and make your crochet a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier to do it. Again, I don't know much about crochet, but essentially they were selling like these rings that would help people crochet a lot quicker, more efficiently, and not so old school. And, people love this shit. It's very clever, very unique. And these guys absolutely blew up. And not only that, they were able to sell multiple SKUs. So they had their hero product, which was the kitty ring, but they also had like peacocks, a silver gem, different variations. But this actually solved a real problem, with crocheters. So people were having trouble with inconsistent yarns, or, what I'm saying? It's very high quality, all around comfort. Again, this is a great example of being able to solve a very big issue inside of a community, and also being able to have the right content to do so. Holy shit, the sun just randomly came out today. So, I mean, yeah, this is a very good example of a very branded profile. I mean, look, guys, 260K followers, very branded highlights of like, how to order the products, really good customer testimonials and reviews, new arrivals. So every month they were introducing new variations and new products, and you can see why they blew up, bro. But really what I'm trying to say here is that this is a very good example of product market fit, but the product actually provided functional value, and also social, because right now, if you guys don't know, like crochet is like the new trend right now, and every girl and their moms love crocheting. And so it's almost like if you know how to crochet, you're pretty fucking cool. And I mean, look at this, guys, 88 million views, 85 million views. Like, it's literally unheard of. And people, love this. There's clear demand, huge market for this. And you can see why, their product actually provides value. And they show you the before and after, the prototype versus, the final product, which is going to be their classic ring that actually helps you crochet a lot quicker, more efficiently. Again, I don't know much about crochet, but it obviously solves a problem. So going back to social value, a phenomenal example here is Labubu. If you guys don't know Labubu, this is a perfect example of social value and hype marketing. If you were living under a rock these last couple of years, honestly, probably like last year, then I don't know what you've been doing, but Labubus have been exploding. This is a multi-billion-dollar company that sell these little plushies that people can put on their purses, on their keychains, or whatever. But this completely took the market by storm, bro. Like, these guys made this very weird plushie almost have the value of like a Louis V bag, where if you didn't have a Labubu, you were weird. Obviously, it was more famous with like girls and stuff, but like, these guys blew up. If you guys want to look at something, like, this is a really good documentary on like how these ugly dolls like blew up. I don't even fucking know, but it's almost like these guys really locked in on the social value to where it's like, hey, if you don't have our product, you're weird. And if you do have our product, you're able to show it off to your friends. And so when people start showing it off, it's almost like free marketing. And then it just compounded. And bro, these guys blew up to where every Labubu now is like sold out. People are going crazy at stores fighting for Labubus. Just look it up, bro. It's insane how these guys were able to make this like little weird plushie into a billion-dollar business just by using social value, but also hype marketing. It's almost like how Stanley blew up. The reason why Stanley blew up is because there was this very viral video where this car, I think it like burned down or something, and the Stanley Cup was the last thing that was intact. It wasn't even damaged. Like, the car was literally like in ashes, but the guy goes in the car and the Stanley Cup is just perfectly there. Like, not even a single scratch. And that's why Stanley blew up, is because of that hype marketing to where now everyone wanted a Stanley because it could sustain all this damage. And bro, it's insane. Just take a look at Stanley, take a look at Labubu. It's a perfect example, bro. The sun is like beaming. But I mean, yeah, it's absolutely insane how value creation is such an important aspect when it comes to picking your product. And again, remember, guys, you're scoring these the whole entire time. Like I said, you're going to have that rubric with you the whole entire time, which is why I'm not even going through the scoring guide, but you guys will see when you're doing this yourself. Number 8, we're almost done. I think we have one more after this, is shareability. Will people share your product with other people? And the criteria is this. It needs to make people say, this is pretty freaking cool, or you need to get this, right? It has to be comment worthy or tag worthy and spark some sort of conversation. Because obviously we rely on explosive marketing, right? Because we're essentially going viral with our product, and then we're leading all that traffic to our website. But what helps a lot with virality with a lot of these platforms, guys, is going to be shareability. If the platforms see that a lot of people are sharing your video, it's going to get pushed out more. It makes sense, right? People want to almost be like, bro, like, you need to take a look at this. It's almost like when somebody sends you a meme, right? That's kind of like the flywheel effect that we're trying to do for our product. Like, yo, bro, look at this. And a good example is Car Brace. These guys, or Nico, as I mentioned before, like, I literally spoke to this guy myself. We had him inside of Full Stack Ecom, explained the whole entire business model on how he literally blew up with Car Brace. This is a perfect example, right? Because this guy, Nico, was selling, or is selling still, these car bracelets, and there's so many different variations that he offers. He has like an R8 version, a normal Audi version, an M3, a Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari. And the thing about the car niche is that it's super evergreen, right? Once you're a car fan, you're probably mostly a car fan for the rest of your life. And each individual person has their own taste. So you might like Ferrari, you might hate Lamborghini, you might love Audi, you might hate BMW, right? And so it's a very shareable type of product because it's very aesthetic, and you're going to want to share it with people that are into Ferrari as well. Maybe your friends. Be like, yo, bro, look at this fucking Ferrari bracelet. It's so cool. And it's super shareable and engaging, right? So this is why Car Brace blew up, because he obviously nailed his organic marketing with like really good concepts. But you could also see, hey, do you have Koenigsegg? Where can I buy this? Do you also do GT3 RS logos? The car niche is so big, it's so evergreen that it's almost meant to be shared with a lot of people, because we all share our dream cars with our friends. We all share the new model of the Tesla or the new whatever, you know what I'm saying? That there's a reason why these type of products blow up, and there's a reason why these niches are absolutely massive, right? And so it's really important that your product is shareable. And this is by far one of the most slept on things that I hear really no one talking about is the shareability of a product, especially when you do organic dropshipping. Okay. Now, lastly, is this product giftable? Would somebody buy this as a gift? So the criteria goes as follows. It's easy to understand, it's emotionally driven, and it's suitable for birthdays, holidays, special moments. Obviously, emotion is something that isn't necessary, like I mentioned before, but it helps a lot when it comes to conversions. So a good example here is going to be this brand right here, Allura Crafted. And these guys are selling Christian jewelry. So going back to a massive niche, Christianity sells like hotcakes because, well, it's a massive religion. And he paired it up with jewelry, which is amazing. I love what this guy did. But really, this is such a phenomenal product to be gifted because it's a ring. And there's like a crazy wow factor here because when you shine these rings to the sun, like the sun is fucking blurring on my eyes. Oh my gosh. It actually comes with a message. And not only that, he was able to do this for these like promise rings, but now he also branched out to like these Christian versions where he's essentially, selling almost the same ring, but for Christians. And it's great because rings are easily giftable. It's under a very passionate niche, high perceived value, and it's phenomenal for, organic dropshipping concepts, which is why he's been able to go so viral for such a long time, and sell these rings on his website for literally how much? Like $62. I guarantee you that this guy's sourcing this shit for like $5. Let's go ahead and check again. Like, this is the power of branding, guys, because when you have a real brand, you can mark up the price by like 10x because people are buying into the brand. People are buying into the story. And so if we go on AliExpress right here, boom, we go again, we upload that image, we look it up. Oh shit, what did I just click? All right, $6 for this ring. This is the ring he's selling, bro. These like holographic rings for $6, bro, $15. Yeah, this guy is marking up his shit by like 10x, dude. It's insane. This is the power of branding. You're able to sell such a cheap product, right? It's Chinese product, but because you have branding behind it, you're able to mark it up so much. So yeah, this is a very good example of a very giftable product. Like I said, I'm such a big fan of jewelry because it literally marks every single criteria of mine. Because it's so giftable, it's high perceived value. Usually it falls under a huge niche. There's a lot of content potential with jewelry, and I love it. So ideally, right, what you want to do with all this information and this criteria is, like I mentioned before, you're going to go into your sheet right here and grade every single product that you're seeing on your burner or whatever product research method you're doing. And you're going to be asking yourself these questions and almost validating the product using the rubric where you're grading it, right? So if it scores a 40 to 45, it's a brandable winner. If it's 35 to 39, it's a pretty strong winner. If it's 30 to 34, it's all right, but you're going to have to work your ass off to make it work. 25 to 29, it's pretty mid. Again, I pretty much wouldn't test if it's mid. And I mean, below a 25, stay away from it. And something that I did for you guys, because I love you guys so much, is in the description of, or not even the description, right? Well, you're going to find the rubric in the description, but at the bottom, you're going to be able to find all these accounts that I essentially mentioned during this whole entire module. And you guys can go ahead and study them. You guys can go ahead and follow them, engage with them, even maybe create a personal burner evolving around branded accounts, which is what I personally do, right? And this is when we go into the whole finding the brandable products, right? Because I personally love the IG brand burner. Like I mentioned, you're essentially going to create an Instagram account from zero. You can name it whatever, just please don't name it burner because I'll block you if I see you. And what you're going to do is you're going to follow all these accounts that I added for you in this document. You're going to follow, you're going to engage, and as time goes on, the algorithm is going to start showing you more of these brandable products where you can go ahead and start studying, but most importantly, maybe find different variations. So like we did in Ali, right, where we did that reverse image search, you're able to find manufacturers to maybe make a custom for you, to maybe change the lettering. So instead of saying I love Jesus, you can make one for Muslims, right? I don't know, it's up to you, but you could find different variations and almost use the proof of concept that we found through our findings and see what type of concepts would pair best with this new product and, etc. So that's personally what I like to do, is like to make a brand burner where, again, I'm optimizing this for you page to find brands. I'll engage with them. I'll see what type of concepts they're posting, what type of niches they're in, and then I'll kind of look and study and then base my decisions off of what I found and what I know works. And that's how I do a lot of my product research. Like, The brand that I showed in the beginning of the video that I've done over $200,000 is because I made an IG brand burner. I found the product and this guy wasn't really marketing it correctly. And then I sourced the product and I used proven organic concepts and blew it up. That's literally what I did. But if I didn't make an IG burner, it wouldn't have never worked. But again, you have to know what you're looking for it to even make sense. So that's why I trained you right in the beginning. We went through the criteria, and now you have all of these examples of very successful brands that do organic, and you could use it to your advantage and almost help you look for it. Another thing that is a little bit more advanced, I definitely recommend people to only do this if you've made anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 with ecom. And it's actually going to the source, finding your brandable products on these websites. So to break it down, Alibaba owns everything. Alibaba owns AliExpress. They own 1688. They even own Taobao, and everything comes from Alibaba. And so if we go on Alibaba, we are able to see all sorts of products, and that aren't let me see. So if we go to Alibaba here, we're able to see all sorts of products. Like they sell cameras, like so many different things, furniture, like drones, like there's a lot of different stuff here, right? But what you could do is find these manufacturers to custom make any product, right? And let's say you wanted to make a custom dial and make like a custom watch. You guys can go ahead and make your customs here, provide them with some sort of design, whether you want to find a designer on Fiverr, whatever. This is how you do it. You can even customize the packaging, the graphic design, the warranty card, the hang tag. Everything is done on Alibaba. That is going to be the source, right, of everything. And then if you want to maybe look for products that aren't necessarily customizable and they're already kind of done, that's when you go ahead and look on AliExpress, and you can find these very cheap products that are already done for you. You don't have to customize them, and you can go ahead and sell through source through AliExpress. But I'm telling you right now, if you do want to go the whole customizable route, everything stems from Alibaba. The best suppliers, everything is in Alibaba, and that's how I personally find my suppliers for my brands. And I cannot believe I'm saying this out loud and I'm leaking this. But that's the way that a lot of people are doing this. Like this whole customization process is like they're finding it on Alibaba, bro. All the suppliers are there. You're able to chat with them, get their WhatsApp, make it happen, right? But just know that it takes a little bit of capital to do so. So it might be best to maybe find a normal product on AliExpress, maybe slap a brand, like your branding on it, and then you can start selling it. And then eventually you start making your custom variations on Alibaba and so forth, right? Same thing with 1688. Again, super untapped Chinese site. This is where I do my product research. Everything is in Chinese for a reason. That's how untapped it is. But I found multiple six-figure products just on this website. It's insane because you're able to find products directly from the factory, not the suppliers. Because with AliExpress, these are suppliers listing products from factories. But if you go on 1688, these are listings being posted from factories, which then suppliers find and resell on AliExpress. That's why you're able to source such crazy products for that cheap, but there is a little bit of barrier to entry. You need a Chinese ID to be able to buy products from 1688, which is why your supplier exists. So essentially, your supplier is looking at 1688, looking at the actual factory pricing, and then posting on AliExpress and almost kind of drop shipping you, right? Because you got to think like these private suppliers have to make a little bit of a profit somewhere, and it's usually by reselling to us. And I'll show you, like I'll literally show you this, guys. Like it's so untapped. Not a lot of people talk about this, but I'm leaking everything. Like I said, I'm not holding anything back this whole course. Like I said, I can't even like believe that I'm doing this for free. But fuck it, I'll show you guys. So let's say, for example, like you're doing product research, blah, 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 and you want to source a particular product. Let's see what we can maybe dropship. Again, I'm not a really big fan of like teapots and shit like that, but let's try to find like a decent product. All right, so let's say, for example, you wanted to dropship this like Tipsy Monopoly thing. It's essentially Monopoly, but for drinking. So let's say you wanted to dropship this, right? So this is going to be the normal markup price from the factories. It's $12.80, won, obviously. So if we do 12.80, they're essentially able to sell this product for only $1, right? Like you guys don't understand how cheap these products are to make. And this is the price that your supplier is really paying. And what they do is they go ahead and just mark it up on Ali and drop ship us, right? So if I got, let's go ahead and do this shit, right? Like live. Holy fuck, I'm spilling some sauce, guys. You copy the image, take a screenshot, whatever it may be. We're going to go ahead and put it on Ali, right here. Search by image. For some reason, the other one didn't really work. Let's do this one, right? I just went ahead and screenshotted that one. We're going to go ahead and feed it into AliExpress. Yeah, because this one, like, for some reason didn't come up. Let's feed it into Ali. And then boom, perfect. We found it. So you guys can clearly see that they're reselling it to us from anywhere from $5.46 each, right? $5.46 to even $8, right? And they're only getting it for $1. So obviously these guys need to make their money, but you can only order from 1688, right? If you have a valid Chinese ID. But this is going to help you source a lot of untapped products, right? Because we're able to see almost like all the products from the factories and kind of get like first dibs. But it's also going to help you a lot when it comes to negotiating with private suppliers, because you'll be able to see like, hey man, listen, I know exactly how much you're getting this product for and you're ripping me off, right? So quick little sauce for you guys. But really what I'm trying to say is that Alibaba is king. They own AliExpress, 1688, Taobao, and essentially if you want to go the whole customization route, go through Alibaba. If you're not willing to put so much capital up front, go on AliExpress, 1688 or Taobao, and cross-reference, right, the IG burner with these already proven brands and ask yourself, is there maybe a different variation? Is there maybe a different niche that I could target a very successful product, right? For example, random one right here, DK Clothing. These guys are fucking great. Right now, I'm pretty sure these guys are printing with like these rings, right? And they're also branching off to bracelets or whatever. Let's say, for example, I wanted to source one of their products because I saw the proof of demand, the proof of concept from all of these views, and I wanted to, I don't know, run one of these, right? So I actually love Ben 10, but I don't think I would rock these bracelets. Maybe I want like a ring. I don't fucking know, like a Ben 10 ring. Do they sell that? Nope. These are just bracelets. Maybe they have like a post of a ring, like a Ben 10 ring. Okay, fuck it, whatever. Let's say we wanted, let's say we just wanted the bracelet. And you guys can see that through the videos, like these guys are going crazy viral with these bracelets. I think they just did a Pokemon one, but let's focus on the Ben 10 one, right? Let's go into like a viral video so you guys can see it from my standpoint. So let's say I stumbled across this video and I see that this guy went super viral. I look at the demand. This goes hard. Boom. I need this, right? This is amazing demand, right? We know that the niche is big enough. We know that the demand is there. We already know these guys are going viral. You guys can see like crazy amount of viewership, high perceived value because it's jewelry, but I want to source it, right? And maybe I want to make my own. So what I do in this case, and I'm literally showing you the whole entire workflow, guys. You're going to use the snipping tool again, or you're going to screenshot. You're going to do copy. And then what we want to do is we want to feed it into either Alibaba or AliExpress. For this one, I'm going to do Alibaba so I can show you how it works a little bit differently. So we're going to go here and we're going to go to this. We're going to paste it. Okay, boom. So now we were able to, why did it show me rings? No, I don't want rings. I want, okay, maybe AliExpress. Let's go to AliExpress here. Let's paste that bad boy. Let's search it. Okay, then boom. We found it, right? We found their supplier just like that. I'm telling you guys, most of these brand owners that you're seeing, they're drop shipping, but they're so good at marketing. They're so good at branding that you wouldn't even bat an eye and run a product like this, right? But you guys can see we found their supplier. But I wouldn't recommend trying to run this one for one. You could to try and run it like a quick little pump and dump. But if we want that real longevity, what I would personally do is hit up the supplier, be like, hey, can you maybe make me something a little bit different? And so this is when you would want to do niche research and maybe try and find something new that isn't Ben 10, that isn't Pokemon, because this guy's obviously doing Ben 10 and Pokemon, but it's that easy, guys. And you know what I'm saying? Like, look, now he's doing like different countries. What do we know? World Cup's coming up this summer, and there's so many different things that you could do. But you guys literally saw my workflow here. We found his supplier. You can go ahead and talk to them directly. Literally all you do is scroll down, right? Scroll down and then go to Strawberry Pie Store, send them a message, and boom, you're in. Or even ask for their WhatsApp. It's that easy to find products and source them, right? So yeah, guys, that's going to be the whole entire workflow. I cannot believe I just fucking leaked that for you guys. But I hope this helped. I hope you guys understood the whole entire criteria when it comes to finding products, how to grade them, how to source them, and most importantly, what it really takes to blow up a brand from these 6-7 figure earners. And how do I know this? Is because I personally talked to them and they're all inside of full stack ecom. So yeah, guys, we ran through absolutely everything like I mentioned, and that's going to be the full entire module on how to find long-term products and brandable products. So yeah. All right. So module 3, how to actually make branded content and create a branded account. In this module, I'm going to be explaining exactly this, but most importantly, right, we need to know exactly, right, how to create high performing branded organic content that actually goes viral and converts into sales, right? We rely on organic marketing, and we need to A, make sure that we're going viral, but B, make sure that our viral content is actually converting to sales, right? I tell this to everyone. We don't really care about the views. We care about the money, right? Yes, we are content creators by nature because that's what the business model demands, but we want to make sure that all those visitors in our site, on our profile, are then converting to an output, which is money, right? And so in this module, you're going to be learning how to move beyond random posting and build a real content system that grows trust, attention, and a loyal audience around your brand. Specifically, I'm going to be covering the exact content concepts and angles we use to go viral while building credibility and trust, my proven posting strategy and account structure for turning views into a real community, and how to properly build and position branded accounts across Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and even YouTube so everything works together instead of against you, right? Like I mentioned in the beginning of the course here, this is all a system. This is all an ecosystem that each individual component is needed, and they all work together to get you the output of actually creating something real, which is going to be a real brand that's going to make you money consistently. But everything is kind of needed to make this flywheel even work, right? So the first thing I'm going to be covering here is the first concept, by far my favorite, quite honestly, and it's called the creator concept. So you essentially need to position yourself as the creator of the product, right? That's the bare minimum if you're going to start a brand, right? And I think this is one of the best converting concepts because it's actively showing involvement in the product. You speak as the brand owner or the CEO, and you position the product as ours and not sourced, right? So instead of looking like a typical dropshipper, like everyone does, you're actually able to build authority, trust, brand ownership in the viewer's mind. And people don't buy products, they buy creators and brands, right? So just how I mentioned some of these top brands earlier in the course, people they want to buy into a message, they want to buy into your brand, right? And so there's going to be 3 levels of concepts that we can do. We're going to run through beginner, intermediate, and more advanced concepts. So let's go ahead, let's take a look and break them down.
Timing, all about timing. Sit back in my chair, relaxing and reclining. He has not a care in the world, no I'm lying. Taking all these meds to the face, got me flying. Taking all these meds to the face, got me dying. To my mind.
All right, so this is going to be a very good example of a beginner type of concept when it comes to positioning yourself as the creator, right? So if we take a look at the initial text hook, it says POV, you made Juice WRLD sneakers. And in the background, you're able to see almost like a prototype of the shoe, right? How it started, right? And he's like, you know what? No, this isn't going to cut it, right? And you can tell that this is going to be a more prototype version because it's just a normal pair of sneakers. He's going ahead and taping some of the images from the particular artist, but he's like, you know what? That's not quite enough. Let me show you how I cook, right? So here you can see how he's sketching out the almost like the sample of what it's going to be, right? And this is huge, right? Being able to demonstrate almost the creation process is something that makes a normal product convert 2x minimum, right? Because now people are almost looking at you from a different perspective of, all right, well, this guy isn't just a drop shipper. This guy isn't just your normal corporate type of person trying to sell me something online. No, this is a small business that's hand designing these almost and showing me the whole process of them cooking, right? Obviously here, this is more of like a fictional type of thing, right? Where like he's adding it into the oven and then he cooks the sneakers, right? But I love this type of marketing, bro, because it positions yourself as the creator, and people, like I said, buy into brands, not necessarily products, which that doesn't mean that product is important. I think it's super important, but when the market is so broad, right, and there's so many different competitors, the biggest brands win. The biggest brands win with the best storytelling and almost the best creation processes, right? Like, what is more believable, this or a typical dropshipper, trying to sell you something off of the internet, right? Like, this just looks a lot more believable than just like a normal infomercial, right? Now, that's going to be your beginner type of style, right? Now we're going to look into intermediate, because you're going to see how things look a lot more believable. And you got to take it up a little bit of a notch if you really want to get those crazy conversions, but most importantly, go viral, right? So take a look at this guy, and yeah. So you could see how he took it a step further, right? By actually sewing his product. Right? This man went out of his way to buy a sewing machine to almost portray himself as like, hey, I'm making these by hand inside of like my dorm room. This looks like a dorm room, right? And again, this is just another more intermediate version of what we just saw, where, you're almost investing into the concept and most importantly, making it more believable, right? And you could see how this video went extremely viral, over 250,000 likes. So we're assuming over 1 million views by far. And crazy engagement, very good engagement, and some pretty good demand, right? So again, people buy into the story, people buy into the brand, not the product, because this is one of the most saturated products in organic history, right? The Jesus Plush, specifically the breathing one. But this guy went out of his way to, again, take it a step further and, do this concept, right? Lastly, we're going to take a look at a very advanced version using some AI technology, and let me know what you think. Beautiful.
There is one God.
All right, so as you guys can see, this guy is almost using AI entirely to make his video. Right? None of this is actually real, believe it or not. This is how good AI has gotten. And a lot of the students inside of full stack ecom are using AI to make videos now, because we don't even need to film anymore for a lot of the products, right? Which is crazy, but we're getting off topic. What you guys can see here is that the account name is YHWH Timepieces. We've already discussed this brand, but you can see now with AI, you're able to make branded backgrounds. You guys could see that he was able to make, it's almost like he's in a jeweler. And he is a jeweler himself making these watches. It's crazy, bro, because this is all AI. None of this is real, right? Even this part where he's actually adding some of the parts into it and telling you, hey, listen, wait for it. And you can see how AI this is, because to the normal human, it looks real, right? But there's certain like inconsistencies, but still, like, people are brain rotting half the day, right? And when they see this video, they're not going to notice. But it's crazy how it's, again, he's positioning himself as the creator, but now using fully AI to make his videos. And it's crazy because he's making like this custom branded background, and it's crazy, bro. It's crazy how this is even possible. Obviously, this last part is actually filmed by him himself, and you can see how, he's portraying himself as the creator. And it's crazy that you're able to do this with AI now. Same thing with this one. It looks like he's in a jeweler, and he's creating this from scratch, even though this is all AI, bro. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't know this, bro. You probably won't even see a single AI comment. Like, even this last part is AI, but that's how good it's gotten. And like I said, we are taking full advantage of it inside of full stack ecom, bro. It's fucking crazy, bro. But don't want to talk too much about that right now, because we're talking about concepts, right? So that's going to be concept number 1. Concept number 2 is going to be a contrast concept, right? What you're doing with this is you're comparing low quality versus your final product. And so we contrast cheap versions, outdated versions, prototypes and mockups against your finalized product, the product you're actually showing off, right? That you're selling on your website. And so this highlights value instantly, shows proof of improvement, and positions your product as premium and just better, right? Viewers see why your product is better, so you don't have to even explain it, right? And this is amazing because it's almost like show me, don't tell me. And so I personally did this for one of my brands. I'll be leaking this in my video, right? It's called Merkface right here. I ran this, I think, last year. And I did make over $30,000 with it. Quite frankly, it was my first ever winner, actually. But I was doing a lot of these comparison videos. So if you guys take a look, let's go ahead and watch it. So again, I was showing off a very bad version of a Deadpool mask that I literally got from Amazon, right? And I'm showing how like cheesy it looks, how bad quality it is, and saying, you know, what people think I sell with like the vomiting emoji, right? And then I'll do versus my product, right? What I actually sell. And then I'll do like a sneaky little call to action at the end using a piece of paper so the algorithm doesn't detect that I'm trying to sell something on the platform. Quick little tip for you guys, right? But you guys can see how we are pretty much just comparing and contrasting and letting the people know, hey, ours is a lot better quality, ours even blinks, and it looks pretty fucking cool, right? So that's going to be a variation of the contrast concept, showcasing cheap versions. Now, if you wanted to do more of a different style, this is how you would do it with like a prototype versus final product, right? So again, there's different ways to do contrast concepts. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but it's a simple word change. And it's almost like if the cheap version one does good, you can start testing other variations and they're probably going to do just as good or even better, right? So let's take a look at the prototype concept. Again, different wordage here. So yeah, this guy's an absolute marketing genius. We'll look over the brand in a little bit, but you guys could see how just by a simple word change, you know, you can still go viral, right? So he went from just doing the prototype, right? He shows like a couple of bull crap here. It looks like he's like making, I don't know, like a really cheap version prototype. And then instead of saying like versus, he said, let me cook for real, wait for it. And then boom, final product, right? So again, it's just different words, bro. Same concept, different wordages. And again, it goes just as viral, sometimes even better. And this guy, I mean, he's a master, bro. He's really fucking good. I'll be honest. This is like some top level shit. 300,000 followers, and a lot of these videos are just organic ass videos that he's doing himself. And he's great, bro. He's printing right now, I guarantee it. But again, that's gonna be the prototype version. Now we're gonna talk about earlier versions, right? So again, just a simple wordage change, talking about the years, right? So comparing years. Take a look. Bang. You guys get the gist, right? So now we're going from prototypes. Now we're going from bad versions to just older, outdated versions, right? So he's saying recording horse rides in 1850, right? He's not necessarily saying it's bad, but it's just outdated, bro, you know, versus how they're, you know, being recorded now. And so again, he's contrasting before and after, right? An old version versus a new version. And again, this works just as well. And again, just a simple wordage change, guys. I hope you guys are picking up on this. Now, lastly, it's going to be the process right here versus final product or outcome. Let's see what it says. Yeah, the outcome, right? So again, all work, all are very good, but it's just a matter of changing the words, okay? Beautiful. So that's going to be a very good example of contrast concepts. Again, this is one of my favorites. I would say it's my second favorite by far, and it's made me a lot of money, right? Because again, going back to what I said here, Viewers see why your product is better, and you don't even have to explain it, bro. There's no need to be all, yeah, this is why my product is better. No, just show it, bro. Show me, don't tell me, okay? Next, we have concept number 3, the controversial concept. So you want to use hate to hook attention, okay? That's going to be the most important part about this, is that hate is sometimes good to blow up your video, but too much hate could actually work against you. Let me explain. So this concept typically involves replying to hate comments, using hate-based text hooks, insinuating controversy yourself, right? So for example, you could be saying something like on the text hook, nobody wants to buy your stupid little product, right? As like a hate text hook. Another thing too is like, this brand will never work. Or targeting a rival team / niche and saying that yours is better if you want to insinuate the controversy yourself, okay? And so we often generate comment overlays using tools like postfully.com to make like fake comments, and I'll show you how. And this is going to be able to hook attention faster, trigger emotions and curiosity, spark debate in the comments, and shows confidence and authority, because when you're insinuating controversy yourself, right, it's almost like, damn, this guy he's confident, right? And when executed correctly, controversial content drives a lot of engagement while positioning your brand as bold, confident, and worth paying attention to, right? Because again, we rely on organic, explosive marketing. And so controversy is pretty freaking good when you use it right, right? So for examples here, let's take a look. The first one we're going to take a look at is Misfit. Actually, no, we'll keep Misfit in the back burner. Let's take a look at Stadium Bracelet right here, just because we've been looking at them a lot.
2, 3. Let's see how it turns out. One.
All right. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but this is a perfect example of a very lightweight controversial product. And you're just using controversy slightly. Nothing too crazy to distract the person away from the product, because I feel like a lot of people use controversy in a negative way where it's almost like the whole video is about the controversial shit and no one's really paying attention to the product. But this is a good way of like doing like a low key one, right? So again, this guy's showcasing NFL bracelets and whatever. He's showcasing this one first, the 49ers first. Again, 49ers, Eagles, but then Cowboys is said as Cowgirls, right? With the trash can emoji. So this very low key type of controversy actually works, believe it or not, for the people that catch it. And you guys can take a look at the comments for yourselves and see, obviously people are repping, their favorite teams, and, Steelers, Birds, Seahawks, Lakers. But let's see if we find some people reacting to the controversy. Yep. See, Cowgirls, the world is healing. Cowboys, the Cowboys are going to come back next year. See, so it's already like working. And what this actually does is it boosts your video even more, because people are commenting. The algorithm sees that people are liking this sort of content and it's making them react, which is going to evidently make them stay in the platform for longer. And so it's just going to push your video out more, right? Cowboy, get it right. See, and you can see how a lot of people are like, bro, Cowgirls? No way, So yeah, this works. It's great. And it prints views, right? So that's going to be one example. The next example here is from Allura Crafted. Let's take a look right here at what he used as controversy.
2, 1. Let's see how it turned out.
Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your life.
3.
All right. So I don't know if you caught that, but the controversy is going to be that hate comment. And again, this is completely fabricated, guys, using postfully.com. It's free. I'm not even sponsored by them. Just use them to make these fake comments. So as you guys can see, James Charles, right? He says, make a LGBTQ one instead. And so this is going to spark a lot of controversy. And then he's like showing off his product right here and then saying, boom, I will absolutely not, right? Saying trust God, Jesus saves, whatever. And so in the comments, you're going to be seeing a little bit of controversy, right? So people are saying Jesus is king, gay is okay, the guy's clearly needing Jesus. Deep down you're like, man, so boom, it's already going to be insinuating a lot of comments. And that's just how it is, right? That's just how it is. And you guys can see it right here, right? So again, these very controversial concepts actually work, but you have to do it very subtly, because if it's too controversial, let's say you made a video of like James Charles saying this and then like twerking on the screen. no one's going to focus on the product, bro. I promise you. It's going to be too much, right? So again, comments work really good. Controversial text hooks work really good. Like this one right here, like this last one. These work really freaking good. It's just another basic Christian jewelry brand. Take a look. So again, very simple text hook. It's just another basic Christian jewelry brand. And then he's like basic, right? And so one thing I want you guys to take note as well is like the captions of these videos. You guys need to understand that if you ask some sort of question and leave it open, you're going to get more comments. So he's saying, are they basic, right? But something else you could say is like, do you like them? Or tag somebody who needs this, or comment the word, I don't know, God, if you want this, right? So these are very engagement boosting types of descriptions that are going to be very beneficial for you, especially in the beginning if you want to build some awareness, right? So if you look at the comments, people are like, great, link, I need this, bro. I need this. Whatever, right? People are commenting. People are commenting how much, and you guys get the gist, right? It's great. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be examples of different attention grabber, controversial type of hooks. For the misfit one, again, he was just spinning the bottle, and then it would land on the little peep one, and you know, it was like peep is better than juice and X, and then people went crazy. They're like, bro, no way, no way, no way. Unfortunately, I can't even like open up this video because these guys are rebranding at the moment, but you guys get the gist, right? Just slightly controversial concepts do really good for organic, right? Next, concept number 4 is going to be the storyline concept, right? This one's really freaking good if you can nail it. So essentially you tell the story behind the brand, right? Because, well, it's important to tell your story. This includes why you started it, the problem you saw, your mission statement, or storylines based off pain points, right? So these videos don't always go the most viral, but they convert extremely well if they get, you know, decent viewership. They build trust, authenticity, and emotional connection. And this is how you show you're real and not a faceless dropshipper, right? So you're almost telling a story. So if we take a look here at Mirrorless Apparel, this is exactly what I mean, guys. This is great content. You guys get the gist there. Great ad. Obviously it is very high production, which is not necessarily needed at times, but this is really telling a story, right? It's almost like someone is catching him, you know, working, and you know, this guy, it's phenomenal too, because it's so organic, right? It's like the little Snapchat, you know, little caption thing. And so he's like, bro thinks he's building the next Nike, focus on your degree, little bro. And you know, at the end of the day, people are almost intrigued. Like, what is this guy doing? Right. And so it's almost like he's using the prototype versus final product, positioning himself as creator concept all in one into just a beautiful storyline. Right. And you could see how, this went really viral. But if you take a look at the key details, right? Like, can you pull this off? Right. He's talking to his supplier, right? Like, it's phenomenal. The storytelling here, and, you know, even the caption, not the next Nike, the first mirrorless, you know, it's great, right? And you look at the comments, well, that isn't good, but you know, people are saying tough, hard work and consistency pays off. Editing content is on point, tough, keep pushing, hard, so well put together. Like, very positive comments, guys, because you're positioning yourself as a creator, but you're also telling a story that, like, hey, like, I literally made this from zero and people used to make fun of me and I'm going to prove them wrong. Like, genius marketing. Like, even people are saying, like, look, great marketing, right? So yeah, it's phenomenal. Very good storytelling by this person. And I mean, it works, bro. Like, this is how you build like a real brand, a real community, over 100K followers. Like I said, guys, these guys print. Now, last example here from Allura Crafted. Take a look.
The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to a dead buried.
So this guy is explaining like this little story that, you know, they went from long distance to finally seeing each other. Great little touch of controversy here. This is what I mean, guys, like a very subtle touch of controversy right here where it says sneaky link. And I'll show you how this fucking works. Like genuinely, people catch this, bro. And you could see how, you know, just this is so organic, bro. Like they're sending texts to each other. I can't wait to see you. Like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the guy, this is the girl. They finally meet. And then now they're able to finally shine their rings together because they're together. And so not only does he have this really well-placed CTA, like, hey, get him on my profile, but take a look at that caption, right? Just how I told you guys before, you want to make like an open caption. He says, tag your long distance partner. And so this is going to insinuate people to not only tag their partner, but also catch that little touch of controversy that we saw earlier in the video. So if we go to the comments, you guys can see that, you know, people are like, why is there a sneaky link, right? Did I just see sneaky link in the call history? You know what I'm saying? So people are catching this. It's making people comment. Am I the only one that saw sneaky link? Like, you guys could see it here, right? This is why controversy works so well, but it has to be super subtle, bro. Because if it's too obvious, they're going to be like, oh, bro's just trying to cause some like commotion. And again, that's not very organic if the controversy is too much. Like I remember people adding like the P-Hub thing in the background, like the intro of P-Hub, like on their laptop in the back. Like that's so set up, bro. Like people are just going to be like dropshipper, 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 right? But this looks very organic. Okay. So again, good use of storyline plus controversy and people commenting, right? So great little example there, right? So concept number 5, we have the trend hijacking concept. This is one of my favorites. All right. And I'll show you how I fully did it with Merkface, but what we're doing here, guys, is we are leveraging viral trends and plugging our products into them, right? So you need to ask yourself this question: how can my product fit into a trend that's currently going on, right? And so this is going to boost reach due to the trend. It's going to bring new eyes to your profile, and it's going to grow brand awareness quickly. So typically with this, your conversion rate is a little bit lower because it kind of steers the focus away from the product and more towards the trend. But it's great for exposure and great for like warming up your audience to give you a follow, right? So I did this with Merkface to a freaking T, and I'm going to show you 2 different viral trends that I copied, and then I'm going to show you a very niche down trend that I copy inside of the Deadpool niche, right? So take a look. This is going to be the viral trend that I saw on my burner.
Met my dad, and they fell in love, and they had me. Hi, I'm Ryan, and my life, it's kind of crazy. It all started with my mom.
So yeah, this is the trend. It's like it all started with my mom. It all started with my mom and my dad, and then they had me, you know. So a lot of people were doing this with this particular sound. So if you actually click on the sound, tons of people were doing it with their dogs, right? So same thing here.
Mom met my dad, and they fell in love, and they had me. Hi, I'm Ryan, and my life, it's kind of crazy.
And so at the time I saw this trend because it's been going viral for so long, and I was like, bro, like how can I possibly incorporate this with my product, right? Because it was like a before and after, you know, how the mom and dad, you know, almost had the kid together and what it even looked like, right? It's great for like retention because people want to know, you know, how they came out, right? So, you know, people would show a golden retriever and then they would show a freaking wiener dog, and then people are like, what's going to come out, right? So that's why these videos would get 20 million views, because the retention was probably phenomenal, right? Like it's insane. It's a little fucking wiener golden retriever. So I was like, you know what? I want to make my own version with Merkface. How can I take advantage of this trend? And this is exactly what I did.
Met my dad, and they fell in love, and they had me. Hi, I'm Ryan, and my life, it's kind of crazy.
Right, and it worked perfectly. I used the same audio, and if you guys go to the profile, you guys can check this for yourself. The videos are still up, right? You know, this video got me, I think, north of 1 million views. Yeah, like 1.8 million views, right? And
it all started with my mom.
And so, yeah, it's a great way to almost hijack certain trends that are going viral that aren't even in your niche, and asking yourself this question, guys, right? How can my product fit into this trend? And most of the time, if you analyze it and it makes sense, you can. This is going to be another example here. This is another viral trend that I saw during the time I was running Merkface. Take a look and we'll break it down. Boom. So again, very, very good in terms of retention because people want to see the outcome, right? Why do you think the prototype versus final product does so well? Because it's almost like the same as this, right? And people are like, people were making a lot of videos with this audio. It was like the power of a haircut before and after, and it was going insanely viral, right? And a lot of people were doing it with like haircuts. Even some organic dropshippers were doing it. And so when I saw this, I'm like, bro, I'm going to 100% do this with my product. So what I did here with my Deadpool mask, I literally went into the barber shop inside of my apartment complex at the time, and I low-key nailed it, bro. Look at this. Boom. So yeah, you guys can see it. I literally copied the concept one for one. It worked, right? I showed a crappy version of the Deadpool mask, and then I showed my my product at the end, and it did great, right? So again, literally hijacked that viral trend that was going on. I still used the same audio, and it worked, right? So that's going to be example number 2. And now the last one here is going to be a niche trend. So a trend that's going inside the niche, right? That's going viral inside the niche. So what I did, right, is that at the time when I was running the Merc face mask, I had a very primed up account, right, where I was like posting my views and stuff. But in that For You page, it was optimized to show me Deadpool videos. And so at the time when Deadpool 3 came out, there was this crazy trend going on, which was this one, and I'll show you. And I was like, bro, this is perfect opportunity to not only go viral with the trend, but also target people inside of the niche that would actually buy my product. And so this is a perfect example of doing a little bit of both and actually making a higher converting viral trend concept, right? So take a look. This was the trend right here, and I'll show you how I did it. Boom. A very simple trend, right? Putting on sunglasses so they can't see what I'm looking at, right? There was a certain part in the movie where Wolverine like fucking went crazy and he took his shirt off and whatever. You could see his 6-pack abs and people were like, oh my God, this is the best. Like, I appreciate this. Like, this is amazing. You know, where do you watch it? Whatever. Like, it was just insane. It was like a really crazy trend and a lot of people were doing it. I don't know why my TikTok isn't trying to load, but anyways, okay. Yeah. You guys can see a lot of people were doing it, right? And you can see mine is one of the top ranked, right? So this is why it's important to, you know, take advantage of trends, because when people want to copy the trend, they're going to probably see your product and they're going to either buy it or the video is just going to go even more viral. So let's take a look at my version, right? Hold up. I don't know why it's not playing. Can we get the audio right there? Okay, perfect. Here. There we go. Boom. So literally just hijack that trend. I put my mask on and then I put a couple of shades on and I literally copied it one for one, used the same exact audio, same exact scene of the movie, and then boom, it went viral, 400K views. And this actually did convert because not only that, right? The reason why I converted was because I was able to attract people inside of the niche that would actually buy my product, like I said before. But I was also just following a trend that Instagram and TikTok were just pumping out, because that's the thing about these platforms, guys. When there's certain trends going on, it's almost like the algorithms want to push them out even more, even more, even more. So it entices people to either replicate them or just watch their platform for even longer, right? So that's why it's a little fucking glitch, and no one's gonna tell you this on the internet, bro. So yeah. That's going to be concept number 5, the trend hijack concept. The next one is going to be number 6 here, the public placement concept. And this is where you plant your product in a popular store like Target, H&M, IKEA, Hot Topic, McDonald's. And what you do is you act like you found the product there, even though you actually didn't. And so this is going to create massive controversy, really heavy engagement, and viral comments, right? Because people are going to be commenting like, you know, stuff like this, like, no way, I'm going right now. This actually can't be real. And you're right. It's not real. It's totally fake. It's totally fabricated, but we're going to take advantage of this to lead sessions to our website. And I'm telling you, this concept has made me multiple 6 figures, bro, because it works so well. Yes, like the conversion rate does kind of dip down because it almost takes the focus a little bit, you know, away from the product, because people are like really focused on like, there's no way you found this on Target, right? So, but bro, the amount of sessions I was getting a day was like 2,000-3,000 sessions a day. And bro, like I was converting, right? So I want to show you how this looks like. We're going to take a look at 3 different examples, 3 different stores, and I want to show you how well this works, right? So yeah, bro was selling Juice World jewelry, whatever. He put it inside of a Spencer's, right? And, you know, bro was literally capping. Obviously, this isn't real. He said, I found the best Spencer's jewelry. And so if you go to the comment section, you know, people are saying what's in the back. I don't know if you guys caught that. There's a massive freaking Moby Huge in the back right there. Anyways, but people are like, I need that. Do they actually have it? You know, commenting 999 forever. Stop, I actually believe this, right? So it's going to insinuate a little bit of controversy, right? Because people are going to be commenting, no way. Another good example here, this clothing brand that was selling like, again, like a Bad Bunny tee. They put it in Target. Let's take a look right here. So obviously this tee isn't even in Target, right? He literally went there, he planted it. But something that you want to do is to really take advantage of this concept, right, is to almost lead people to your website, right? And so what this guy did, since he was running like more of like a clothing model where he was doing these drops, in the caption, you guys could see that he said, the Bad Bunny tee is by me, right? So that positions him as like the creator. So people are like, okay, this was just a joke. But additionally, he said, listen, we're going to be releasing these January 31st at 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST. So now people are going to be like, oh shit, like this is actually real. This is dropping on this date, right? Still, we're keeping that virality factor. People are commenting like, I need this, but it's not at Target. Can I purchase somewhere that it's not Target, right? One thing that you should know about Target, it's a very controversial store. I guess they like do not treat their workers very well. And so anytime you do any sort of Target concept, people are like, I'm boycotting Target, right? So whatever. You can see very good demand. People talking about like, it's not even at Target. We're like verified people, bro. Like this actually works. But what this guy did, he perfectly funneled all this engagement into his website. So if you go here, people were literally signing up for drops on his website and then boom, catching their email. So people would be like, okay, the drop is next week. I'm going to go ahead and put my email right here. Boom, boom, boom. And then you got it, right? You're in, you're ready to go and you'll get notified. So this is a great way to promote your brand if you do that type of drop style, right? So again, this is really good for clothing brands, right? Lastly, right here, last store, I think this might be IKEA. Yeah, right here. Like guys, you guys could do this with any store. Right? So this guy was selling print on demand Call of Duty frames, right? And again, he was like portraying like he found it at IKEA and obviously it wasn't there. So the comments are going to be like, how can I buy them? How can I buy? So good demand, right? Price, I need one for my husband. So really good demand, right? Like Call of Duty, really good passionate niche if you wanted to get into it. And again, this shit just goes viral. And again, he was a little bit smart about it. In the caption, he said, link in bio. Did I cook with this, right? So again, leading that traffic into his website to almost up the conversion rate, right? So yeah, this shit works. You could do it with any store, like I mentioned, Target, H&M, IKEA, Hot Topic, even fucking McDonald's. Put that shit in the Happy Meal. You're good to go, right? But here's the thing. How to make public concepts actually convert. Like I mentioned, public placement content goes viral easily, but it converts poorly if done wrong. Like I said, the best practices that you should be doing in your captions especially is saying, JK, we actually need these, or we actually make them, sorry. Or you reveal it at the end of the video using a text overlay like this guy did, right? So at the end of the video, like the last 2 seconds, you could put JK, we sell them, or JK, we make them, or JK, we hand make them, right? To let people know that, hey, this is a joke, we make them, right? So you could either do this in the caption, which is like my personal choice, because I feel like when you do this, the algorithm, like when you say sell them, I sell them, we sell them, it's almost like those keywords are going to trigger the algorithm to not push your video out more. So that's why I like to position them in the caption, right? It's just what's worked best for me. And again, this is going to keep engagement high still because it's still going to keep the concept the same. It's going to maintain transparency, but most importantly, improve conversions because, you know, people are going to be like, okay, this is fucking fake. This guy's making them. Let me go ahead and just buy it from his website because I'm not going to find it in my McDonald's Happy Meal, right? So yeah, this is how you actually make high converting public concepts, right? Which again, no one talks about, and you're missing out on a lot of money if you're not doing them correctly, okay? Next one. Oh, was that it? Oh, cool. Nice. All right. So that was it, guys. So essentially with these concepts, they're all working together, right? Each concept serves a different role, right? So one drives virality, another one builds trust, some boost awareness, some convert heavily, right? And when we combine these properly, they create a real brand, a loyal audience, and long-term organic sales, right? This is literally my content system, because you want to do every single concept to almost create this flywheel of just going viral, but also leading that traffic to your website to actually convert, right? So again, we're focusing on viral trends, right, to go viral. But then we're also, nurturing our audience to make these sort of concepts where like we're handcrafting these, right? So trust. We're also building awareness from like doing these very public concepts, but we're also focusing on conversions through very good storytelling and again, positioning ourselves as the brand owner and creator. And so this is how you make so much money with organic, is not by only sticking with one, but by doing all of them together at the same time to create this flywheel of literal printage, bro. And if you're not doing this, you're missing out for your brand. And even if you're running pump and dumps, you could do this shit, bro. And it actually prints. And this is how you make over 100,000 with one product, is by getting creative, but most importantly, following the system. Alrighty guys, so now we're gonna be covering website creation and systems to have in place to actually convert these customers, but most importantly, build a very good branded website, right? So in this module, we're gonna be breaking down everything you need to know about building a high converting branded website and installing real systems that allow your business to scale and generate consistent revenue, both in the front end and the back end. And I'll show you how. But specifically, we're going to be covering how to build a branded website that converts attention and positions your brand as legitimate and trustworthy, right? Like that's super important to actually help us convert, and the core systems and backend structure needed to run your business efficiently and scale without chaos, right? So again, we're gonna turn customers into a loyal community that supports your brand and follows it for the years to come. And before we even like get into actually creating the website and building out these systems, I want to show you some good examples of some very high level websites that I found. So we're gonna be going over Fun Punch first. You guys take a look right here. Again, these guys are like multi-7 e-com store. And of course, they're going to have a very optimized website. So this is like their homepage, right? Very professional. They have some very good details about their brand, people that are using it, even influencer stories, which is really, really cool. And definitely a nice touch to, again, improve the credibility and most importantly, the trust, right? So if we actually go into the product page, you guys can see that they're running a Valentine's Day sale. But most importantly, we're able to pick out the different variations. They have bundles. So for the people that want to, I don't know, maybe buy 2 or 3 for their kids or their loved ones, they can actually save some money by buying more. And it's great to have bundles in place when you're trying to up your AOV. Apart from that, they have very branded type of product images with the actual branding on them and some key features about the product. And it's great, right? Very branded, very professional. They have some add-ons here, so upsells to increase that AOV, some nice FAQs. They also have people actually using the product, which is really good because people almost want to imagine themselves using your product. And so using videos and even GIFs are a great way to sell somebody, because essentially, guys, what this is a funnel. If you look at it from a e-com perspective, it's all a funnel. This is the top of the funnel, right? But as people go down, it's like you almost have to convince them even more. So, he's showing videos, but now he's showing you the engineering process and how, it has grade A leather, precision engineering, vacuum locks, suction, right? To really push people forward to buying this, right? And then again, some type of things here, like why the rage bag, right? Some, pretty much what he's doing here is like, he's like almost trying to sell you even more, right? So you're going to punch harder, you're going to improve your speed, you're going to destroy your stress, you're going to be in fighter mode, right? And then again, some more people using the Fun Punch, more videos, as well as a 30-day guarantee. So like, listen, like there's a 30-day guarantee that if you don't like your rage bag, you can always return it for a full refund. And again, just really in-depth stuff about the product. Some comparisons, right? So again, another good way of doing the contrast, or like contrasting, right? Fun Punch versus others, right? Some aren't durable, training grade, etc. You guys see how this is literally a funnel to almost persuade someone to go ahead and just buy the product, right? And you're answering a lot of objections without even getting them to check out just yet. So by the time they read this and they go back up to buy it, they're already sold, right? And it's great, right? It's a really good way of doing it. And so these guys have a phenomenal product page. Another one I wanted to show you guys was the crochet rings, right? So Crochet Cure, I love their website. It's very colorful, very vibrant. You could clearly see the product. He's also showing you how there's a free crochet pattern book if you buy. So again, free is amazing, right? If I would to give someone advice on an offer, it's really important to offer stuff for free. I mean, you guys could even see it. The crochet ring itself is free. You just got to pay for shipping, but he's also upselling you in different things, right? Like, you know, a premium set, or if you maybe want to learn how to use the ring, you can buy this program, or you could do some pattern stuff. So these are all upsell opportunities to increase that AOV, because, well, it's free, right? And people love free. And most of the time they're going to probably add that mystery box worth over $150 for, you know, $24. And so when you word it like that, it's almost like, damn, this is like a no-brainer, right? Also, product images are on point. They have videos of people actually using the product, even though this is clearly AI, but people won't believe it, or people will believe it. They don't even notice. More credibility stuff, just a plain Jane image of the product, which is cool because, again, if people want to actually look at it, you know, just add a normal product picture. They also have like a subscription where they can join a school, right? With 400 plus crocheters. So they actually teach crocheting, which is genius, bro. And just a great way to keep people in that ecosystem and almost build a community over 400 crocheters, right? So these guys are making money in the front end, right, from their product, but they're also making money in the back end from consistent MRR, or something you would call monthly recurring revenue, from the people that are in the school community, right? Which is insane. So yeah, very well built out website. And I'm telling you, these guys are absolutely cooking. And you guys can see that they're literally selling a digital school where you can go ahead and join. And it's so fucking smart, bro. I love how they did this. And again, this is how you really build a community, a huge brand, and you're able to make money in so many other ways that most people just don't really think of, right? Because not only do they sell the rings, not only do they sell the program, they also have different variations. And this website is on point, which is why they print, right? So now we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to be using to build these websites, right, in the most effective but quickest way ever? Because I'll be completely transparent. If you're still building websites from scratch in 2026 with AI, you're wasting a lot of time. Like, I remember back in my day, like, damn, I sound like an old timer, but I would spend 2 to 3 hours like literally building out websites. And now you don't even need to do that because now we have AI. So what we're going to be using here is something called Atlas AI, which is a Shopify store builder, right? To make our high converting store in minutes, bro. Like, we don't even need to be sitting here for 4 hours building on a website where we can just have AI do it, right? So this is going to be able to turn any product link into a fully built Shopify store instantly. Let AI handle the whole page design, the copy, everything. And it's going to generate professional product photos from basic ass images, bro. I'll literally show you. And it has a built-in bundle offer, cart upsells, everything that you need to literally launch a winning store in like minutes, bro. So yeah, I'll be completely transparent. I'm not even getting paid with these guys. I even tried hitting them up like, yo, let's run a promo. They didn't even get back to me. So I'm not even getting paid for this. If you want to use it, you could use it. If you don't want to pay for this and not save time, I don't know why, but go ahead and watch my old YouTube video on how to create a landing page from zero, and you'll be able to do it in like an hour, right? But if you want to save an hour and use AI, go ahead and use Atlas. Again, I am not even getting paid for this, bro, which even like I should, which is insane, but it is what it is, right? I'm just telling you the truth. Like, I'm not even building my pages out anymore or my stores. And I think it's just a waste of time. So what you want to do is you're going to open up a brand new Shopify, right? Just create an account, whatever. I think they're doing like 3 months for $1. It's actually pretty freaking good. And then what you're going to do is just get the Atlas AI app. And then what we're going to do here is also, this is like a really good example of what they do. Like, it's a really good store, bro. Like, I would not be promoting the shit if it was buns. And again, this is a really good store, very branded, high converting. And again, this is literally like the perfect funnel, bro. Like, it's insane how AI is actually able to build this now, because back in the day, like, these AI store builders were trash, bro. But now these guys locked in and they know what they're doing, and that's why I'm promoting it. I would not be promoting anything if it didn't fucking work, right? Let alone I'm not even getting paid for it, right? So what I'm going to do here is, let's say, for instance, we found our product on Amazon and we want to order a sample. We're already getting traction and we're getting demand and we want to make a store, right? That's the only reason why you should be making a store, guys. And I'm going to be using this pillow for just context and as an example, right? So we're going to be using like this cervical pillow, whatever. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and paste the actual product link there. And you could be pasting product links from other Shopify stores, AliExpress, Etsy, whatever. We're just going to use Amazon. And what we're going to do is just literally generate the ICP. So this is literally going to generate the copy, the AI. So everything that you see here, all the copy, AI will do it for us, bro. Like, we don't even got to do this shit ourselves. Obviously, we're going to do this in English, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed. And yeah, it's just going to start cooking up this store using AI, which is crazy. And yeah, we're just going to wait here, and I'll get back to you guys when it makes it. Also, guys, while we wait, I want to talk about just like really focusing on stuff that truly matters, because a lot of you guys want to make the best website ever. And I promise you that, like, yes, it has a little bit to do with the conversion rate and like the authenticity of the brand, but what really is going to make that pivotal difference for you guys is going to be the content, the product, and just overall the marketing, right? Because you can have the best website in the world. Shit, you can have the best product in the world, but if the marketing isn't on point, then you're kind of cooked, right? So I feel like a lot of people want to optimize the best website possible. That's why I'm going ahead and just doing this AI shit, because quite honestly, I save a lot of time and headaches. And you're just able to craft a really quick website in a short amount of time without having to worry about the nitty gritty and stuff that really doesn't matter in the long end. Because I don't know, bro, I remember in the beginning, I would just focus way too much on shit that did not matter. Like, I would literally make a website before I started recording for my product, thinking that it was going to sell. And then I was like, fuck, bro, I just wasted 4 hours of my life making a website for a product that didn't even make me money, right? So you always want to make the product page last, or the website last. Once you have proof of concept, demand, and you're already getting, you know, some pretty good views. So as you guys can see, it went ahead and selected the 7 pictures from the Amazon listing. We're going to go ahead and just go with it. I think they're pretty decent. Again, this is literally just for explanation purposes, but you guys can see how quick everything just kind of happened. You're able to just click the presets of like what colors you want. It's pretty freaking cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I think we're going to go with this like soft clay one, maybe fresh mint. I don't even know. Let's go with the glacier one. I think it's pretty cool, right? So pretty much it cooked us up a product page in a matter of minutes. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like, this is really what you need. And it's going to give you a whole bunch of different images from the listing. It's going to go ahead and create a quantity. You can also add bundles if you want to, but guys, look at this shit, bro. Like, you're able to already get reviews, descriptions. We have it all already, bro. As seen on Vogue. Like, it's crazy, bro. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This is really all we need. Look at all these benefits, guys. Like, it just literally cooked this up in minutes, and it wrote the copy for us. I didn't do a single ounce of work. I literally just sipped my mate, and now we're chilling, right? So yeah, that's how the product page is going to look. If you look at the homepage, boom. Guys, this is literally all you need. Obviously, you can go ahead and like tweak the copy to not make it so AI if you think it's AI. You can also add like real images of your real product and real customer testimonials for the reviews. But bro, like, this shit is insane, dude. And you can go ahead and just edit everything yourself. And it's a very good way to just make a really quick website that's high converting. And then later you can go ahead and optimize the AOV and optimize everything later on once you're actually getting traction. But guys, this is like the best way to do it. You can even go through the visuals, the text, persuasion, benefits. Everything is like, you're able to edit everything. It has an add to cart too. And you're pretty much ready to go, right? So yeah, that's how you're going to make your AI store. It's pretty simple. It's nothing crazy. Again, AI does the whole work for you. And I don't really see a point in creating a website from scratch in 2026 when we have all these different AI models that can do it for you, bro. Like, it's just insane. But yeah, this is really all you need, right? In terms of a website. Like I said, you can get this shit from like, look, it's even like talking about bundles, bro. Like, look, it just made a whole entire offer for me, buy 2 get 1 free. I could even create my own for, you know, as like a 7-minute setup, whatever. Like, it's insane, bro. It's insane. It's doing all the work for you. And yeah, just try it out. I don't know, but what we need to focus on now that we have the website, right, is going to be keeping customers and collecting information. Right? Because it's amazing that we're getting sales. It's amazing that all these customers are buying our product, but how can we keep them in the long term? Right? So this is when we go ahead and talk about the backend systems, guys. Some pretty tactical stuff here that it's maybe thousands of dollars, right? So like I said, the goal here is to keep visitors inside our ecosystem and maximize long-term revenue, right? So we're going to be using Klaviyo for email and SMS, texting, and retargeting. So We're going to be able to add a welcome pop-up with a clear incentive to opt in. We're going to be able to collect both email addresses and phone numbers, capture users as soon as they interact with our brand. And the key principles here is the more people opt in, the stronger the ecosystem, right? This means that we can go ahead and blast as many people as possible via email or SMS about any new offers, drops, or new variations, right? So we own the traffic here, and these are warm leads that can convert now or later, right? And the core truth, like I mentioned, it's a lot easier to retain customers than constantly acquire new ones. So this is my personal Klaviyo account for one of my brands. And we collected a total of 10,000 profiles. This is 10,000 people that we can go ahead and literally hit up whenever we want, right? All organically. Like, bro, this isn't even, we don't have to pay for this shit. We already have their info that was collected through the welcome offer, right? So the welcome offer looks something like this, right? We have an email and SMS collection. You guys have probably seen this if you guys ever bought anything online. Usually you'll get a 10% off, right? If you just go ahead and add your email address. There's a reason behind this, right? There's a reason why you're getting spammed by Nike every 4 days about a new shoe that comes out. They collected your email. It's the same reason why when you go to an outlet, they're all like, hey, can you give us your email? Bro, because it fucking works, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're able to go ahead and blast you with so many offers. But not only that, most people cut it here, right? They're like, all right, email's enough. No. We want the phone number. This is going to be by far the best one, but we want to add some sort of a incentive to literally have someone put their phone number on a website that they don't even know about, right? It's a little bit sketchier to add your phone number than an email because most of the time that shit just ends up in the junk mail and you don't even check it. But with a phone number, you have no choice but to look at that text message because there's no junk folder in iMessage, right? So we have to offer some sort of a better incentive. So for this website, this guy slacked, bro. He did 10% off for both. Like, what the heck? No, let's do 15 or 20. I personally like to do 15, sometimes 20, depending on the product if I have better margins. But bro, collect that phone number, right? And so when people put in their phone number, boom, that's an easier way to get their attention, right? So with that being said, this is when we get into the whole retargeting and backend monetization once we have their information. So the goal here is, like I said, to turn warm audiences into repeat buyers and backend revenue, right? So like I said, we're gonna be using Klaviyo, automated flows, and campaigns, right? So these are gonna be the two main key pillars here, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And the execution goes like this, right? We're gonna run flash drops and limited time offers to re-engage our list and set up automated flows that follow up when people don't buy, right? We're gonna set up segments versus segments for buyers and segments for non-buyers to send the right messages at the right time, right? So this is how you create the ecosystem that's gonna make you money in the back end, but most importantly, be able to do these drops that you see a lot of clothing companies do, because the only way you could do drops is by using Klaviyo or some sort of software that can collect emails and SMS whenever you want, and blast, you know, that, hey, we're live to thousands of people at once, right? And so if you guys go back to my old videos when I made $10,000 in one day in 24 hours, fully organic, by the way, at 80% margins, I used Klaviyo to collect the emails and the SMS, right? And so again, we're retargeting people because they're going to convert higher. They already trust our brand. Sometimes they even bought our products, and we're going to just automate everything to make money, right? So this is how much money I made this year already. $13,000 in just attributed revenue just from having these flows in place that run 24/7 while I sleep, right? And you could see that $4,000 was made via email, and then $9,000 was made via SMS. So you could see how SMS converts that much better because, again, there's no junk folder in SMS. And so people are going to evidently see it when they get a text message. I promise you, bro, when you get a text message, you check your phone. That's like, when do you not check your phone? When you get a notification? Most importantly, when you get an iMessage, right? And so again, we're making money from the front end, the back end, and we're setting up something called flows, right? So essentially the flows work like this, right? We're going to skim through this. So essentially, let's say someone abandoned checkout, right? And they got to the checkout, but they left the page. We're going to go ahead and wait 10 minutes and offer them some sort of discount. So I usually like to go for a 5% discount. So we're going to be like, hey, David, something happened to your cart. Here's an additional 5% discount to, you know, push you to the other side, right? To buy our product. If they don't, right, we go ahead and wait 3 hours, and then we offer them 10%. We say, like, hey, are you still there? By the way, here's an additional 5. So now you have 10% to go ahead and buy our product. Then we're going to wait. If they don't go for it, then we'll wait another 21 hours, and then we'll remind them again for that 10% discount. And again, you could see how this just runs in the back end. And you could do this for checkout, abandoned cart, even people that went ahead and just viewed your product page. You can do this for so many different segments and it works phenomenally, bro. Like this is literally free money that I would have never made if I didn't have flows in place, right? And then for campaigns, guys, right? For the campaigns, this is when we get into the whole drop model. So with campaigns, you can think of it like this, right? You're able to set up a certain date where you can go ahead and blast all the people that you have under your profile. So if you have 10,000 people, you can set up a campaign that, I don't know, next Thursday, you're going to blast 10,000 people with an SMS message saying, hey, we're live. This is our new drop. And then boom, you get all these people in your website almost instantly. And you guys can see, bro, I've literally made so many vlogs of me doing drops where I made $10,000 in a day, $5,000 in a day using these systems that I have in place for all my brands. And it's literally free cash, bro, because it's so much easier to reacquire these customers that are already hot, because if they put their email in your website and if they definitely put their phone number in your website, they most likely fuck with your brand, bro, or they probably bought something in the past. So yeah, it's really good to retarget warm traffic, but also introduce new discounts, new variation, new drops. And that's what I personally do to make money in the back end, right? But you're definitely missing out on money. And if you want to do drops, you need to start using this type of stuff. Okay. So yeah, that's going to be it for this module. We essentially went over good websites, examples of really good websites, high converting websites, how to actually make the websites using AI. Like I said, if you don't want to use Atlas, right, you guys can go ahead and take a look at my YouTube where I create a website from absolute scratch. It takes a little bit of time, but if you want to learn it, go ahead and learn it. But if you don't want to waste time, just use Atlas, bro. All right. And yeah, we went through the backend systems as well. There's a lot more you can do, but for now, this is really what I'm going to talk about because it's really what's necessary. All the other stuff is complementary to this and supplemental, and it's not something that you need right off the rip. But again, if you want to take good advice and even just look at some good examples, take a look at these two websites and almost model the Atlas AI or model your news store after them, and you're going to do phenomenal, bro. These guys print, okay? All right, guys, so if you made it this far into the video, congrats. You finished the entire course, and really what's left for you to do right now is to just start, bro. The quicker you can get started, the faster you'll start seeing results. And again, don't overthink it, just start. I literally took you step by step through the whole entire process of what exactly you're going to need to start this branded organic dropshipping model. And it's pretty simple. And it works, right? You're going to have to dedicate enough time, effort, and energy to obviously make this work. But we went through each individual pillar that you're going to be needing, right? We went through the whys, how to actually find the long-term and brandable products. We also went through how to make the branded content and branded accounts and the website creation and backend systems to make the most out of the customer and also build this ecosystem of a community, right? To where you can go ahead and retarget anybody at any time. And most importantly, do these crazy drops every single month when you want to introduce new variants, right? And so, yeah, guys, I gave you guys the step-by-step, and I want to tell you something really quickly. This actually works, bro. This actually worked for me, and it completely revolutionized my life. It changed my life completely, and I've never really gone back to just normal organic running pump and dumps. I've only been sticking to brandable products that I can go ahead and exit eventually, actually build real equity, but most importantly, right, make consistent money with organic, right? I'm now able to make anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 a month from my stores consistently. I'm not having to worry about the pump and dumps and people stealing my products because I'm fully branded, right? And I want to tell you guys something too. You could do branded without having to put any money up front. A lot of these suppliers give you the option to customize your product and customize the packaging with no MOQ, right? And so now it's totally possible, and it's a matter of creating the right content that seems branded, even though it might just be dropship. Even though it might just be sourceable on Ally, like we saw all these other brands doing. How can you create this brand image? And one thing I want to tell you guys is that this actually works. If you follow the whole entire framework that I showed you in this whole video, you will make money. It's actually impossible that you do not make money if you follow everything to a T and you actually took some notes, right? And the results speak for themselves, guys. Like everyone inside of Full Stack Ecom comes into the program and sees results, bro. No matter who, bro. And I'm telling you, because we have a system in here that actually works, and everybody in here, right? All these testimonials, all of these case studies that you see on my YouTube that are fully recorded, it's because they follow this exact framework that I mentioned today, right? And this is how we got Mark from doing 10K in 13 days to just 124K in 2 months, right? Like in just 2 months, he completely just changed his life, bro. You know, same thing with Javier, 18 years old. He did like a 90K Q4, 20K in 5 days, right? Harper went from doing 33K months to literally 21K days organically at 70% margins. Like, We're even lapping like these paid ad guys, right? And you know, now he's doing 40K in 4 days. I think January he hit an 100K month, and we'll be dropping a case study soon, so be on the lookout for that. Same thing with Mark, bro. 18 years old, doing 33K a month, right? Buying his dream loft. And even Pedro, 17, high school, literal senior, doing 25K in 1 month, bro. And you guys can go ahead and take a look at all of these. The results speak for themselves. But I'm telling you, if you follow this whole entire blueprint one for one, it will literally work out, right? And it's not even just them that's printing, bro. If you go to the Discord that I have, right, for Full Stack Ecom, we're in the win section, bro. Everyone is making money. Jeff, complete beginner, first ever sells in 7 days, and it's like infinite, bro. We even have Samantha, bro, doing 1K in 7 days, right? Jaden, 2K in 1 week after 9 months of not seeing results. So we even have people that like go months without seeing a single ounce of results, but join the program and look, 3K in 10 days by just joining the program. After 10 days, bro, people start seeing results, right? And it's insane, bro. It's unlimited, like the amount of wins that we have going on in here. The results speak for themselves. We're even getting orders for like $649 off of one order organically, bro, just from the AOV call that we had the other week, right, on how to optimize your website completely to maximize conversions and average order value. Like, guys, we have it all in here. We have the best resources in the whole entire space. And I can confidently say that we are the best organic dropshipping community in the whole entire space, and we will eventually be the best e-com community in the whole entire space as well, because now we're branching off into TikTok Shop, right? So if you want to start TikTok Shop and want to see results like this, right, 127K in 1 week, right, you can go ahead and join as well, because I teach that as well, right? That's something that I do as well. So like, we have everything in here, everything that you need. But again, if you want that one-on-one attention, go ahead, apply in the description below to join Full Stack Ecom, where you guys can actually work with me one-on-one. This is a mentorship, so you'll be seeing me every single day, hopping on weekly calls, group calls, and everything that you'll need is in there, right? So this isn't like a massive Discord with 1 million people that you've seen online, right? And this is as one-on-one as it gets. So you even get my personal phone number to text me every day, bro, right? I'm here for you guys, and this is why I created Full Stack. So if you guys are truly interested and are 100% serious in starting this business model, go ahead, fill out the form in the description below. But I mean, yeah, guys, that's going to be the whole entire course for you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please give me some feedback in the comments, drop a comment, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be looking through every single comment. So if you have any questions or even just some feedback to give me, go ahead and do it. But most importantly, give me a sub, drop a like, share it to a friend that maybe wants to start something like this and truly change their life, because I can confidently say that like this changed my life, man. I'm super grateful. And like going back to like the first module, bro, I was really working Uber Eats, bro. You know, less than 2 years ago, I was completely depressed, and I've been able to completely change my life, bro. This is literally a real picture of me, bro. Like, I was down bad, and thanks to Branded Organic, I am here today. And like I said, I'm taking care of my family, right? Making them proud, but most importantly, making myself proud, bro, because, you know, I proved myself wrong, and now I'm here. So yeah, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Drop a sub, all that YouTube stuff, and love you guys. Peace out.